Hi, guys. This is Archie Luxury, and you are live on the Archie Luxury Show, where talent is always appreciated. That's right, guys. You are here on the show, and we are very proud to be presenting interesting stuff every day for the punter. Every day for the punter. And for the punter. We got Mark. How are you?
Wonderful. How you doing?
Hey, you just need to turn off the show running in the background because it'll bounce. Thank you, Mark.
No problem. Sorry.
It's fantastic to have you on board here, the Watch Society. What can you tell me, Mark?
Well, we're a local watch group here in Atlanta, but we also have our own chapters in Switzerland, Austin, Las Vegas, Des Moines, and we also have a YouTube channel to go along with it where we interview everyone that keeps coming in, and also do our own thoughts and reviews on watches.
Man, that is fantastic. I'm just going to run a quick intro, 15-second intro, then we'll come back and talk to you. Hello there. Hello indeed. This is a fantastic opportunity. Tell me, firstly, what's your collection consist of, Mark?
At this point, I have 65 watches.
65.
And they go from the gamut from cheap Timex and Swatch to Vacheron Constantin Historique 1921 and overseas, and a lot in between.
How many non-garbage would you say? The non-shitter category.
20 or 30, about half of it.
Okay, that's not bad. That's a pretty big collection there. What's your 5 top watches? 5 top watches
that I own?
Yes.
History 1921.
What color? Rose gold, yellow gold. Sorry, rose gold or white? Sorry?
Rose gold or
rose
pink
gold
gold, they call it.
Sorry?
Pink gold is what they call it. So it's rose gold. But yeah, that's that one's special. That one's hard to beat.
You bought that new or used?
That one used.
Yeah, you don't want. They're fucking expensive, man.
They're insane new. I do have the overseas in steel, the black dial, and I bought that one new, but the price difference isn't that much. The overseas, I mean, the 1921, it's not worth the 40,000 in the mid 20s. It's, you buy a couple more watches with that.
Exactly.
The watches started all for me. I have a 1967 Rolex GMT 1675 black bezel. That's a family heirloom from my wife. So that's impossible not to have on the top. I like some weird ones. I have an Omega Jump Hour on, which is one of those like existed for 6 months kind of thing. It's one of my favorites just to have it because there's not too many of them. And then it's I think after that it kind of gets to the just kind of rotating in and out. I don't think there's a whole lot that are so precious that I couldn't get rid of them after that.
Understood. Now, guys, we're just promoting your channel. We're just posting some links in the comments there. Please check out the YouTube channel, Mark's YouTube channel, The Watch Society. Mark, I'm going to give you, I don't know if you've seen my current collection, but I'm going to show you what I've got. This is my main good pieces. Here we go. Da-da-da-da. I got 7 at the moment there. And what I got there, I'll tell you exactly what I got. So I got a Breguet Type 21 with rose gold with chocolate dial.
I love that. I have a Breguet Type 21 steel, but on the steel bracelet. And for a while, that was I called it my realistic grail because it was like a hard to find piece that is somewhat affordable.
That's the rose gold one. You know,
Yeah, I
the
have the
funny
exact
thing
same one
is,
in steel.
my friend, I actually said to my friend who's a mini watch dealer, I said, get me an Explorer 1. He said, don't get that. Don't get that. He then
No.
tried to talk me into a Breguet Type 20, which I said, oh, okay, I'll do that. Then he talked me into, he said, this is available in a precious metal Breguet, which is quite a special piece. It's a very special piece.
Oh, I mean, the entire Breguet Type 21s are just slept on, especially not the current ones, because the current ones are, they're
They
ugly.
actually just released a new Breguet Type 20.
The blue and gold one?
Yes, which I
Yeah.
actually love. I actually love it.
I think it's an improvement over what they have had in the line so far. But I wish they made what they did for Only Watch and just
Now, I've just
make
got
that.
a HR guy. This guy here is a 3-piece Rolex fanboy.
Hey,
And I love
Arch,
Rolex. Don't get me
Arch,
wrong.
we've got a celebrity on here, Action Bronson. I'm a big fan. My favorite album is Blue Tips 2. Keep going with the Blue Tips saga, Action.
I didn't get that, but I got to tell you something. Seriously, you know, there are some people who only buy Rolex, and I get it. I get it. You know, if you buy just Rolex, that's okay. You got to, it's whatever the hobby fits in. Like I think it's very wrong to criticize how people build their collection. I used to be saying, "Oh, that's stupid. Why did you do that? Why did you do this?" And you know, I think you got to, it's your choice. You buy what you want. And Mark, in my case, I don't know if you know my story, but I had a terrible burglary where my entire collection.
I'm aware. I'm sorry. That's horrible.
Yeah, well, I got to tell you, Mark, considering what happened next, which was one of my sons died, it's like a mosquito bite. You know, it's fuck.
Yeah.
It's fuck. Look, it's life. You know what I mean? I got to be honest with you, Mark. Sometimes you go out there and you promote yourself and you have watches. And look, I tried. I had a commercial grade safe, and I you know, the business, I hadn't improved the security enough for the things. But anyhow, it's that's all bygones now. But I got to tell you something. You know, in all honesty, the watches themselves, I rebuilt some collection, and I've taken a different, this time when I rebuilt, I said, you know what? I like the bigger watches. I'm actually very much in, because I'm not a fucking skinny winny guy. I'm not a skinny. I
I'm like
don't really,
Bill.
I honestly don't think I'm going to lose the weight. I think, you know what? I want to be healthy, but I in the same token, I want to. And what's happened is the fashion in watches, I like to be behind fashion. Like after it changes, I like to scoop up what I liked. And they've gone a little bit smaller, which is fine for me because I like a little bit bigger. And I got to tell you, this is a perfect example. These are a chunky monkey, but you know what? They are so beautiful. I mean, it looks like a double split. You know, the Type 21.
Yeah, because of the long minute hand underneath it. Yeah.
And
Oh,
that's a
I mean, it's
fantastic way to record the minutes, don't you think?
Oh, I love it. Actually, I refer to mine as the most expensive kitchen timer I own because I use it
Well,
while cooking because it's so easy to read it. So if
and
I'm
it's a
put something in the
flyback.
oven,
If you want to reset it, it's just one button to reset the thing.
oh yeah, I should have mentioned that in one of my favorite ones I own because I do own the steel one, and on the bracelet, the steel one is not common, and the bracelet is
No.
incredibly comfortable. It's one of the
Yes.
few that I think is better than the Rolex Oyster bracelet, but
Yes, I
it's
totally
rare.
agree. I totally agree. I love the Breguet, great value. The other watch, I will show you. Let me show you. This is actually my I'm going to show you. This is my favorite 3 pieces, right? These are like, if I really, this is probably it. Breguet,
I love
I'm
that
wearing
one.
the Submariner, two-tone bluesy, and a world time.
That's my favorite version of the world timer with it's like pseudo pontiff hand on it. The big circle.
Yeah, it's got that circle hour hand. It's look, I like it because this is the biggest incarnation.
Yeah, 39 millimeters.
39.5.
Yeah.
The model after this went smaller. So look,
Yeah, no,
for
that's
me,
my favorite one. That and platinum is one of those dream watches.
Look, platinum is it's got the blue center. Is look, look, I buy pre-owned. I've got to buy what comes up. You can't be so fussy
Oh yeah.
on that sort of watch. It's and to be honest with you, I got nothing. White gold is a great metal. I think that's a beautiful metal. I just go with the flow. What comes up. But I gotta tell you, I recently got another chronograph. Which this show people have been giving me a lot of slack for. But I think amazing chronograph. Have a look at this. It's the Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Compressor chronograph.
Oh, that's with the twist lock.
Yes.
A lot easier to deal with.
Yes.
I always the dial never feels balanced.
No. It's interesting. The dial, the way it records hours, that thing I think that's a very clever way to record hours because it's very legible.
I give you a weird one on JLC. Have you ever seen the JLC Amvox chronograph that starts and stops by pushing on the crystal?
It's crazy.
The first time I had one in hand, I was like, this is just weird. I don't know if I love it or if I hate it, but I certainly appreciate the weirdness of this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. The funny thing is, Mark, this is actually a better chronograph than the Breguet because I don't think the Breguet is a column wheel chronograph. I think it's a cams chronograph.
I think it's a column wheel. I could be wrong, but I think so.
This is a really nice chronograph. Look, I'll be honest with you, JLC, again, that's a bargain. There's some amazing bargains in that brand there. One of my favorite, and sometimes I've got to tell you, you really want to wear pieces and see how they go with you.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite chronographs is the Open Heart Zenith. And I think people, I hated it. We got a super chat. Patek Philippe, $50.
Oh.
Welcome to the Archieverse.
50 Canadian, so it's like 40.
Look at that. That's from Patek Philippe. What a great guy helping us.
Thank you for the welcome, for the introduction, the hello.
I got to tell you, that Zenith, the Open Heart. I never liked the Open Heart. I always thought it was a bit of a hillbilly tourbillon. But when I actually have it, I like it because it doesn't have a date. A lot of Zeniths have a date.
I love that.
Sorry?
I love the hillbilly tourbillon.
Yes. It's sort of. This is actually a beautiful watch. It's amazing bang pop. Secondhand, these are amazing.
Yeah, they're not really popular in the second hand. They take a while to sell usually with dealers. But they are bigger. They're what, 42, 44 even? I think some versions of that.
42. That's 42. 42.
Okay.
42.
Yeah, they never became super popular, so they're probably a steal in the second market. I'm on the fence on that one. I'll be honest. I like it, but I don't love it. I certainly don't hate it.
Yes.
But I do like the fact that it's not smaller because there are some Zeniths I love, but they're always 38 millimeter, and I have an 8-inch wrist. That's not happening. 38 millimeter.
No. I'm the same. I want a bigger. Look, all of these. This is my collection here. The 7 pieces. I got what's the Breguet's 42, the Patek's 39.5. Everything here is 39.5 and above. You know,
Yeah.
because that's look, that's what I love there. I've got to tell you, I didn't get too many. I got 2 Rolexes after the burglary. So the burglary happened. I was wearing the Explorer 2. That was my.
Ah.
And can you believe it? The papers were stolen. I lost the papers, and because they stole all the fucking
Yeah,
shit
they
with
just
the
grabbed
other
everything.
watches. But the only watch after the burglary, the only watch I really craved, like if you said to me, "What do I want?" You can have anything in the world, right? I really wanted a bluesy. I don't know why. I just really, really wanted a bluesy.
You appreciate
And I wanted a ceramic blue. I didn't care whether it's 41 or 40. The 40 was a little bit cheaper, and it came up. It's whatever comes up. I got a few mini dealer friends. It's whatever came up at a good price. And you know what? I got to tell you something. These watches here, I don't care. I try not to get them scratched, but if they get scratched, I don't give a fuck.
You cannot be precious about watches. I hate when people are like, "Oh, I don't want to scratch it." It's what it's there for. Unless it's some piece, unique, vintage thing that should be in a museum, wear it. Scratch it.
Hello, HR. How are you, my friend?
Arch, we're not talking about this picture again, are we? Come on, let's get some new material, big boy.
Hey, let's talk about yourself. 3 Rolexes. 3 Rolexes. Could we get something non-Rolex for you?
What's the guy in the middle? Action Bronson. What's your name?
Mark.
Mark. Let me walk you through my collection, big boy.
Sure.
I've got an Explorer 2, the recent model, black dial. I've got a bluesy, and I've got a Datejust 41 oyster bracelet,
Actually, you know
blue
what?
dial,
Stop
indices.
for a minute there, HR.
Right.
Man, just stop, because what I'm going to do for
Pull it
Mark
up.
here, I'm going to pull up your collection, and
Pull
we'll
it
get
up.
Mark to critique it. What do you think of this, Mark?
Yes.
Sure.
Look at this.
Oh.
And I must admit, fuck, this is 3 really beautiful watches. I love the Explorer 2.
Mark, I'm only
So should I
30.
be nice? Should I be mean? Or should what do you want
Be
here?
mean. Be cool and vicious like me. Give it to me. Give it to me hard.
Sure. Let's start with the Rolex Datejust. I like the fluted bezel, but I don't know. I cannot get behind Datejust or Perpetual.
Give it to me harder. Harder.
Yeah, give me a minute. We're going. It's. I mean, let's be perfectly honest. It's fine. It's basic bitch. It's plain and simple. The bluesy's fine. I mean, yeah, sure. You look like the corner drug dealer a little bit, but it works.
I'm the landlord.
Well, I mean, the landlord of a place you don't want to be the landlord of is what that is. I mean, that's a slumlord. Taking everyone's money for it. But I like the Rolex Explorer 2 because it's the good Explorer. The other Explorer I fucking hate. So,
what do you think about me choosing the black over the white, Mark?
You know what? I actually like it because
think you chose the black
the
over
white
the
is
white.
so
I think
popular.
that's what they gave you.
Hey, Arch, you zip it a minute. I was speaking to Mark.
The white is so popular that it's one of those. It's nice to see the black one once in a while. They're both good colors. It's actually one of the few Rolexes, because I'm not a Rolex guy. That's one of the few I still like. Maybe you know what it is. I don't like any of the ceramic bezels on Rolex.
Ooh, okay. Flick one, keep
don't
one,
like
and safe
ceramic
queen one.
bezel.
Hit me with it, Mark.
There should be no such thing as a safe queen.
Ooh.
No, you either wear it or get rid of it.
So I'm thinking about giving my Datejust to my dad because I don't like the shoulders on it, and I've recently got this bluesy, Mark. Since I've got it, I don't want to wear anything else, big boy. I just want the bluesy.
Hey, if it's the one you're wearing all the time, does it get any better than giving it to a family member?
It does. It's better if you get given a watch.
Okay, fair. But so for him, it won't get any better.
You got to think, Mark. I work in HR. I walk into the redundancy meetings. I've got the bluesy on my wrist. I'm the man. I'm the king. I'm the Rolex man. This is what real Rolex men do. We fire other people. Yes.
I switched over to my Vacheron, so I don't know what you're talking about. Rolex is just middle management.
I don't know what a Vacheron is. I only know Rolex.
Yeah, the only Rolex I've actually owned, I hated. It was an OP36 in pink, and I sold it within 2 weeks because of how much I did not like the OP case.
Mark, I got to be honest. That OP, the bracelet, on the coronet, they can't even afford to properly etch it in. It's horrible. It's basic.
I'm
There's no glide lock.
I'm not a Rolex guy at all. I'll be perfectly honest. It's what got me started by family heirloom, but I own none, and I'm okay.
Mark, listen, I'm a 30-year-old.
Could I ask you that, Mark? I want to ask you, who did that? You said it was a family heirloom. So that was your wife's father
My wife's
had it?
father, yeah.
How did she get it? Like, how did it survive? How did she get it?
He passed away when she was young, and it went to the safe and sat there.
I see.
It sat in the safe for 30 years.
I see. So
in a safe deposit box. So
did you? Okay, we got another super chat. We got a super chat from Madman Mark. Does Rolex make HR a wanker, or is he a wanker wearing Rolex?
Be honest.
What comes first, chicken or the egg?
A Rolex does not make you a wanker, but you are more likely to be a wanker and wear a Rolex.
I'll tell you what, Mark. I'll be honest. I've always been a wanker, but when I got the bluesy, fucking hell, get out of my way because I'm coming through.
Rolex doesn't make you a wanker, but if you are a wanker, you're probably wearing a Rolex.
The two-tone. Look, when I've just come off the toilet at work and I'm thinking, what sort of cup of tea will I have? I've just done a poo. I've wiped my bum. I go into the toilet and I wash that watch. I get it shiny and use the Dyson hand dryer. Oh, and it's gleaming when I come out back into the office.
Oh,
that's the way, Marky. That's
what real Rolex men do, Mark. We work in wage cut offices, working 9 to 5s, putting paper around desks, and then we go home to our strained marriages. Yes.
See, I'm a happily married man. I'm not firing people left and right. I don't own a Rolex besides the one handed down.
Mark, I've got my wedding coming up. Out of these watches, what should I wear for the wedding day?
Wedding day? They just keep it. It's not about the watch. The watch is a nice memory in there.
It is about the watch.
Oh, if it's about the watch, then get a new watch.
Ooh, I can't afford it. I spent all my money on Rolex. Actually, Mummy bought me the bluesy. That's what everyone's saying.
Get a nice dress watch. Don't wear a freaking dive watch or something like that. Or
I was thinking about wearing the bluesy. What do you think?
Best out of a bunch. At least there's some gold in there.
When she says, HR, will you take me to be your blah, blah, blah? I'll look at my bluesy. I'll look at the indices. I'll look at the coronet and go, I do. And then go, oh, shit, I retract that. I mean, yes, I do, Mrs. HR.
Before you do that, make sure to play her this so she knows what's happening.
Make sure to what?
Play her this back so she knows what's happening, who you're talking
Oh, she can't stand Archie. I'm sorry, Arch. She can't stand you.
Hey, no worries. That's okay.
But I like you, Arch. Don't worry.
That's okay. That's okay, man. It's okay. We can always handle a bit of criticism. You know that?
We can only try our best.
That's exactly it. That is it. That is all we can do in life. I got to tell you that the interesting thing is, Mark, I actually like to go against the trend. I really love if I was to get a new Explorer 2, I don't like to limit myself. I like to see what comes, like, because I buy predominantly second. Okay, let's catch up on these super chats. We've got Yankee Doodle, $5. Profile these two men. One is wearing a Patek 5172R. The other is wearing a Breguet 5177BR. So let's just have let's bring these watches up on the screen so we know what we are talking about. Let's get this. By the way, Mark, we had a guy on yesterday who had one of these HYT watches.
Oof. I applaud them for trying something.
Yes, amazing.
Good luck on service eventually.
It's he bought it very, very cheap. So let's have a look. The Patek 5127R. I had a 5127 white gold, but this is the rose gold. Just a quintessential Calatrava. Beautiful watch. And he wants to compare that to a Breguet 5177R. Let's have a look.
The classique date.
I think these here. What do I think of them? Look, I got to be totally honest with you. I prefer the Patek. The Breguet is more conservative, but it's fucking beautiful. I tell you what, I do
I'll
like.
flip. I like the. That's beautiful. I actually like the one with the sub-seconds with no date, which is like the 5127 or something like that in the same line, classique. But
Yes.
Breguet for me, I mean, here I got Breguet hands tattooed on my arm.
Oh
So,
fuck.
Yeah, it's hard to. There we go.
Wow, that's
No.
fucking, because that's not cheesy. It's not like it's the Breguet logo. It's, you've got to know what they are. It's Breguet
Yeah, it
hands.
is, which is not exclusive to Breguet. It's just watch hands I love, and it's a match. My wife has the same tattoo because she's in the watches too.
Wow. So tell me, I want to ask you this, Mark. Actually, sorry, let's just catch up on. So the profile of the two guys, I think the purest between the two guys, 5127 or the Breguet, I'd say the Breguet guy is he's more of a dreamer. He's somebody who's not so concerned with resale. He's more concerned with, he's a watch purist. He wants something true to core. Whereas the Patek person, he's talking investment. What's it possibly worth? And I got to tell you, I'm ashamed to say this. Patek has become so cliche.
The person who loves watches, appreciates some craftsmanship, especially actual guilloche, is going to love the 5177. That is the guy who's the watch nerd or appreciates pure craftsmanship. The Patek is the guy that heard the name Patek and he finally got enough money where he can get rid of his Rolexes and get a Patek. It's nice. It's simple.
I mean, and he's the
It's
sort of
also
guy who
double the
admires,
cost in the aftermarket.
he admires Jack Walsh because Jack Walsh was on the front of that book he wrote. Jack Walsh was a total cunt. He admire, it's just
I like Patek fine, to be honest. I don't, since Patek dropped the Geneva seal in 2008, and I know I'm getting watch nerdy here. They tripled the amount of watches they put out without adding any watchmakers, and there's a reason for that.
No, you know what? I used to collect, before the robbery, all of my Pateks. The dividing line in the sand was pre-Patek seal. I wanted Geneva seal. That was the thing.
I applaud that. I like that.
And I had some. The thing is this: Patek really, they've been poisoned by the Chinese. They want to sell They want to sell it into the China. It's just, the problem is it's not sustainable. This is the terrible thing.
They're using stamped guilloche on their dials. Like, you got your Patek Philippe and you're stamping guilloche. Like, you're not Longines selling at the mall. Like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Yes. Yes. No, I totally get it. It's, I got to tell, honestly, when someone tells me they have a Breguet, my opinion of them rises. If they said they got a Patek, I'm still not sure. Because there's two types of Patek people. There's people who are the hype Patek people who have a Nautilus or an Aquanaut. You think, oh, fuck. And, the nothing more makes me want to vomit than someone who says to me, the Aquanaut or the Nautilus is the most beautiful watch I've ever seen. What do you mean? That movement is in countless Patek. It's just yes, it's cool. Yes, it's trendy, but it's not the fucking greatest thing. People get so.
And for the
they
price,
basically they love the hype. They don't. You know what I mean. They love the hype.
Yeah.
And they just don't get it. They don't get it. They don't get it. I got to tell you something. I've got to be honest with you. I like somebody who buys things not just for resale or trendy or look at me. The problem with Patek is that's everything that's wrong with a modern BMW.
Hey now. I love my
know?
BMW.
You got a BMW?
Yeah, I got a small X3 M40.
Wow,
Nice.
you like your BMW?
I love it.
You're a Beamer guy.
Hey, Mike.
Mike, of
hey
course he's a Beamer guy. Mikey, this guy here, I'll show you. Just okay. Sorry to just take a quick diversion. I want to do a diversion. I'll show you my Beamer. Can I show you my Beamer if you don't mind?
I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
I've owned 3 Beamers, but I don't consider
Here we
myself a
go.
true Beamer
we
guy.
go.
I like all things high performance.
330.
330. So look, it's only the 4-cylinder. But you know what? This car here is, well, it's not only. This is a lot of money to me. Okay, Mark. I tell you.
It's not even an M. It's not even an M.
It doesn't matter. Nobody fucking notices that difference except enthusiasts. And
it's not even an M.
The 200 and something horsepower, the 200 and something horsepower that little 4-banger puts out is ample enough for you, Archie. And what you're going to do with it. It'll do everything you ever wanted to do. There's 100% nothing wrong with this car that you bought. The only thing wrong with this car are your feelings of inconsistencies or incompatible, like
it's not an M.
Just hang on a tick there. Just looking at. I just want to show you something.
There's a lot of BMWs that aren't M's. It doesn't mean they're not bad cars.
Real M's just have one number after, not M330.
Hey, this guy drives a fucking Skoda. This guy drives a Skoda. Don't even get me started.
Hold on, Arch. No, it's not a Skoda.
I drive an SUV, so
it's a Skoda Kodiaq, Arch. It's not just a Skoda. It's a Skoda Kodiaq. It's the luxury 7-seater.
I gotta tell you, I really.
No,
this
I don't
here,
do SUVs.
I wanted. The reason I got this car was I wanted to get a proper BMW before they all went fucking electric.
Proper BMW. Okay? It's not an M, Arch.
It doesn't need to be an M.
It does. I wanted to get a rear-wheel drive. I didn't want all-wheel drive. I wanted rear-wheel drive. I would have preferred the 6. I'll be honest with you. I would have preferred the 6, but in my country, these things are really fucking expensive, and you can only get the 6 with all-wheel drive. So I wanted non-battery technology. I didn't want that that electric.
Have you driven, one of the electric BMWs?
I drove an i4.
And the dealer shat on you, Arch. The dealer shat on you. He said, "Go back to making shitty YouTube videos." Yes.
I drove that. I drove an i5. That thing is amazing. I'm sorry. That thing was amazing.
Electric?
Yeah, the i5.
They're like 500 horsepower. Look, they're fucking great. They're off the hook.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
I wanted a proper internal combustion engine car before they end. So that's
fair. I mean, I wanted a 400 horsepower SUV, little X3. So
hey, Arch, you should have got the burnt orange color for the Beamer.
Unfortunately, the way of
my
the
wife
world
wanted
is,
that. Actually, believe it or not, the wife wanted the burnt orange.
Your wife hasn't got a clue about Beamer colors. It's a shitter color.
That orange is a beautiful color.
I love the orange. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the orange.
I also like the blue.
The orange is
blue's second.
You need to get the Skoda Lava Blue, like my car.
I got to tell you, let's get back to watch talk here. But one thing I will say is, if somebody has a Breguet, that their stuff in my book rises considerably. Another
I agree with you, Archie. If I saw somebody wearing a Patek, I would say, "Ooh, wow." But when I see somebody wearing a Breguet, it tells me more about that person.
Hey, Mike, I don't think you've met Mark before. Can you give a little introduction of yourself, what you're into, what you're not into?
Hey, hang on, I got to catch up on the super chats. 1 minute there. I got to catch up on the super chat. So I got to tell you, Yankee Doodle, to answer your question, I think the Breguet person is more of an enthusiast. The Patek person is more concerned with values, which, to be honest with you, watches are rotten investments. They're not. The dividend, you've got to realize this. The real dividend in any collectible is the joy it gives you. It's not necessarily outdoing your douchebag friend who has one that you've made more money on the secondary. That's just Jefferson Exotic, $5. HR is a braggart. Take him down a peg, Bronson. Stir the pot. He's boastfully of his bluesy. Yes, yes, yes.
Take me down, Action Bronson. Take me down, big boy. I'm ready to get shafted.
You know what? I've found that if you're not losing money, you're not really having as much fun as you can have with anything.
Mike, introduce yourself to Mark. He doesn't know you. Come on, give an intro.
I am Mike the Snake, race car driver, machinist, jack of all trades,
Serial masturbator,
master of a few.
Masturbating techniques.
My dad was an engineer, so I have a good base knowledge of just about everything. I love all things cool. I race cars. I race motorcycles.
Tell him about the Pantera.
I had a Pantera that I had to sell after the fires. The California fires burnt my house down, and I went from hero to zero and had to sell my airplane and my Pantera to survive.
But hold on, Mike. You told Sard it burnt down in the fire.
No, I didn't actually say that. The question originally was, did you lose the Pantera in the fires? And I hesitated in answering that question, and I said yes, only just to shorten the conversation up, because
you're a liar, Mike. You're a liar. You're a liar and a money grabber. You say you're Archie's best friend. I've seen you on Tim's stream. I've seen you on Tim's stream. You say you're his best friend. You're a money grabber.
Yeah, I'm a liar.
Here.
Just hang on.
I gotta mute those two. Dirk Diglock, $2. HR squats when pissing, and we got Rich Mitch, £2. HR apologizes when he comes, and we got Ape, £5. Thoughts on Breguet fuse and chain. Amazing shit.
Grail.
Amazing shit.
Absolute grail. No joke. That is one of my two grails, but just the idea of putting that together at that scale and the constant force behind, and it's a technology that goes back to actual Breguet's days.
Yes, I love it.
That's impressive.
I really enjoyed reading the legacy of Breguet, which I think goes back about as far as watches go.
Well, I mean, he's 1800.
Yeah, I mean, Vacheron, Breguet, there are these companies that, and Breguet also broke a lot of new ground. He came out with the Tourbillon, although it wasn't really functional.
Mike, your diabetic monitor's going off.
No, it's not. Shut up.
It is. I can hear it. Go and check it. I'm worried about you.
Yeah, fuck you. It's right here, and it's not going off. Okay.
You can't hear it. You can never hear it. I'm worried.
I got to tell you something. Okay. One thing I will say, let me say this to you guys. One thing I'll say is with Breguet. By the way, Mark, I pulled apart a Patek watch box. I don't know if you saw because I had a broken one. I got it because I wanted the cushion, and it wasn't. And I actually pulled the interior out, and I was surprised to learn cardboard and glue.
That doesn't surprise me.
And also, the beautiful Patek, they have that beautiful glossy box. It looks like that's particle board.
I believe that.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I was on the show yesterday. I was talking to Mike the Snake. I was actually had my Breguet box here. I think that's solid wood.
Yeah, it appears to be. Solid.
I'm not taking mine apart. I'll tell you,
Mike. Tell Mark about Coda. Tell Mark about Coda.
It's not a veneer. I think it's actually solid wood, like how they've done the corners, and you can see the cuts. It's actually, I think it's real wood.
Yeah.
Now you're going to force me to start looking at all my boxes I have.
I don't know what. If you got the wooden box for your Breguet, or it's because they made the steel one. Did you have a wooden box or no? I think
it's a wooden box because it's the original from the Type 21. So it's on a bookshelf the other end of the house.
Yeah. No. That's okay. That's okay. And I mean, I got to be honest with you. It kind of I realize these things, they've got to take corners, the boxes, but a real wood box, that's so. I got to be honest.
So with you.
I think I prefer the Breguet to my Patek. If I had to sell one, I'd possibly sell the Patek before. And the reason I say that is if I was in financial trouble, I need more money. The Patek would bring in more money.
Get more out
but
of the
also, the Breguet is such a bang.
But Archie, explain this to me. This Breguet's got a rotating bezel indicating it's a dive watch, but it's got a leather strap. Oxymoron. Explain.
Pilot watch.
Pilot like a Navy timer.
So how am I supposed to do the washing up with this on, with the leather strap?
People who wear gold Breguets don't enter the kitchen.
Oh, actually, Arch, I thought that was only for people with all solid gold Breguets, including the bracelet.
We got a super chat for you. We got Yankee Doodle, $5. My 2016 V-Dub Touareg TDI light bulb went out. Dealer tells me to replace the entire housing. Fuck. Can't
replace it, big boy.
The bulb.
Yep. Same with BMW. They wanted me for $3,000 to replace a headlight on my 135i.
No, the headlights are expensive, Mike. They are like on my car. They're laser lights. They're even more expensive.
Yeah, I had the xenons that turned with the steering wheel and everything. You got to pull the whole front end of the car off to remove the headlight. It doesn't just come out. I found one on eBay for $200 and fixed it myself. But yeah. Headlights these days are not cheap items on the newer cars.
No, thank you.
Tell me, so your BMW, what year is your X3?
2024.
Is it an M?
A year and a half old. I bought it new.
Is it an M?
M40. So it's the fake M, but it's the Toyota Super engine in it.
That's a good
engine. That's
M package, right?
Six cylinder. That's the The B58, that's called a B58. Yeah, B58. That is actually probably the best engine BMW makes. I think the second best one would be the B48.
I got a small X3 that does 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. I'm good.
The N54, the twin turbo that they put in the 135s and 335s back in 08 and 09, 010. And stopped making, but did put on the 335IS in 11, is just commonly known as the beefiest. It's the one the enthusiast wants because the case is beefier, all forged internals. You don't have to pop it open. It's just like a Supra 2JZ. You can get 500, 600, 700 horsepower without cracking the bottom.
Hey,
real
Mike,
easy, really safe.
Have you got turbos on the Cube yet? Have you installed those?
Year, like 3 years in a row.
Mike, have you got turbos on the Cube yet?
Do I have what?
Turbos on the Cube, your car?
No.
Oh.
But I have a turbo on my 930, and it works just fucking fine.
The 930 with the cracked seats and the milky oil.
No, that's long gone. That's history. That's old news. It's fucking over and done with.
What, like Coda?
Yeah, that too. Drag up some new shit, dude. Come on.
Drag it up. Drag it up.
It's time, new material. You keep firing all this old shit at me. It's getting old. Just fucking come up with something new.
It is getting old. It's
you
very
jump on
old.
and you fucking you throw some salvos at me. It's always the same shit.
New gags.
Come on. Put up or shut up, dude.
All right, hold on. Let me think. Let me get some new material. Okay, I got something. That Pantera, you said it was new. The car's spiked, Mike. It's not new.
I said it. I never said it was.
Okay, we got another super chat. So you know what? That's actually pretty terrible. You may be able to. I don't know what the fuck to say. You may be able to take it to a specialist who could. Sometimes it's fucked. It's just fucked. But believe you me, I had to replace my windscreen in the BMW. And do you get an original one or do you get a non-original? And I ended up getting original because I was concerned with the cameras and all that shit that is connected up. But that technology makes the car really expensive. I'm not looking forward, Mark, to having to replace the brakes and rotors.
To do them yourself.
They're no big deal.
No, okay. How about the battery? They have a very expensive battery.
That you do have to take and buy from the dealership and actually have it Bluetooth bound to the car, or it won't work. That's kind of a lot of parts, like the injectors, I believe, are the same way. You can't just buy them and install them. They have to be like bound by the dealership specifically to the car.
Computer has to do that.
I miss old cars.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm driving a '79 right now. You know, I decided I'm never going to lose money on a car again. I'm going to only buy cars that appreciate in value, and I'm just going to go with vintage and collectible.
You just have to like to work on it.
Yeah, well, which I do. But yeah, most definitely. You know, I used to race Porsches, and I had a Pantera that I worked on and ran on the track, did track days with. And
no, you didn't.
That's all right up my alley.
Let's just catch up
Yes,
here.
I
We
did.
got Dr. Bob's Nightmare. Dr. Bob's Nightmare, $2. Mike the Snake uses puppets to show people where he touched you.
Yeah. I'll tell you what.
NATO, $3.
HR.
Mark,
where did HR touch
He's reading the super chat up. Shut up, Mike.
Where did HR touch you? Where did HR touch you? Oh, he touched me right down here. Oh,
yeah, I liked it.
Made me hurt really bad.
From Patek Philippe, $5. Show us the Watch Society's YouTube channel and peruse some of his content. I will do that. One moment, guys. One moment.
Mark, you have a channel?
Yeah, we're kind of just getting going.
Very cool.
Archie, you need to be careful. Remember what happened with Curdy? He came on here, he had his channel, he spruiked it, and then fight you over.
Yeah,
how do we not know that Action Bronson isn't going to do this? Through the eyes of a G.
Life goes on. Everybody's out there. Archie's got to keep his fucking, guard up. And
you're saying that because you're the money grabber. You're stealing the leads, Mike.
No, I'm not. I haven't done anything with
Jay Anthony, we got a great.
Turn your camera back on. You're stealing the leads.
Hang on a tick, guys. We got Jay Anthony. He's got his own watch channel, the Jay Anthony Watch Channel. The Watch Society's just come on here. We're having a good talk to him. He's a good man. He's got a BMW. Our friend down below has a Z. What do you got? A Z3, don't you?
MZ3, right? Z4 or Z3?
Yeah, Mark, right?
Yep.
Yeah. We have a mutual friend in Giancarlo Roselli.
Oh, okay, yeah. He's the other member, the other half of it.
I've been watching your reviews on the Watch Society, sir.
Oh,
nice.
Thank you.
Very nice. I'm gonna have to check it out. I've not seen any of your videos, but I'll have to look you up and check you out.
I used to be on the Crown and Caliber YouTube channel, and that still existed. So
yeah.
Some people might know me from that. Crown and Caliber died.
Uh-huh.
Well, the YouTube channel before that was still by the Hodinkee side of the company. So,
how did you? Did you get money from Hodinkee? Did they buy you guys out?
Oh, I worked at Crown and Caliber as a watch buyer, and then when we merged, I was working at Hodinkee as a watch buyer. Then I was also on YouTube for Crown and Caliber, and then I also worked over at Hodinkee as.
How is Ben? How is Ben Simer? How is Ben?
I've only met him a few times because he's primarily in New York, but he was always very nice, down to earth guy, just easy to chat with. Personally, I have nothing negative to say about the guy. And personally, he was always very relaxed and loved to just talk watches and show watches. He'd always bring a roll of watches to the office if you're in Atlanta. And
if they gave you $50 million for a YouTube channel, I'd be fucking relaxed too.
Tell him, Arch. Tell him.
Well, I mean, Crown and Caliber was the YouTube channel was a small thing. It was the reselling, tens of millions in watches that did it.
Yeah. Do you still do watches now? What do you do now for a living, Mark?
Things behind the scenes in the watch world.
Mark, have you ever sold a watch to Diddy?
No.
I see.
It's a difficult thing. Look, watch sales is not a fucking thing. The people have said to me, "Why don't you sell watches, Arch?" And I got to be honest with you, I fucking loathe tire kickers and cunts who are so stupid. They don't deserve to buy these. I end up when I want to sell something. When I want to sell something, I say to customers, "You don't deserve this watch. I'm sorry, I can't sell it to you because you are not worthy of the brand. I'm sorry." That's what I say to people. I've said that to people. I said, "I'm really sorry. I can't sell it to you because you are nothing what the brand aspires to have as a customer. You're a
Arch,
cunt.
you know the line I like
I've said
is
this.
the line that you said to me is
just pipe
these
down,
watches
pipe
aren't for
down a little
rich
bit.
people.
Sorry?
The line I like the line that you used on me is these watches aren't for poor people.
No, they're not. Well, they're not.
I just bypass grinders up by raising the price on them. If they give me an insultingly lowball offer, I just go, you know what? The price just went up 20%. How about that?
Tell me this: the watch business
It
itself.
shuts them right up.
I got to tell you that the thing that I really dislike is, to me, the hype watches are not necessarily. I like the hype. Okay, I like a Pepsi. I do like a Pepsi. I like a Panda, but I don't think they're worth the premium. And secondly, I don't like the type of people who really like that shit. You know what I mean? Like,
I get, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like when you see a lot of people like it, you're like, fuck that. I want to find my own thing.
It's like the 1921 Historiques. Like, that is probably one of the most. It's not the most complicated. It's not the greatest watch. It's just beautiful.
It's a simple, three-hander winding.
Mike, you talk about retaining value in watches, but you got bent over on that Submariner deal. You said, bend me over and pull my trousers down.
Hey, you seem to be more concerned with other people than yourself.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't need to be concerned about myself much. I've got a bluesy 41 mil with a glide lock. Yes.
You just follow the herd. He's a sheep. He just follows the herd. Bah!
Arch, does a follower have a Skoda Kodiak with the nets in the boot? I don't think so.
Up on the screen here. I'm just going to.
You know what, HR? I have other interests than watches, and yes,
you're not allowed to have other interests other than watches. You got bent over on a Submariner deal.
When I see something I want, if I have the money and it's available, I buy it.
And then you lose the money, like on the Submariner deal.
Yeah, no, I'm good at losing money. Losing money is one of my specialties.
We're talking about real. This is the Breguet box.
I'm jumping off. Mummy's calling me. Bye.
Okay.
Yeah, good. Bye.
This is the Breguet box.
Yeah, that's the same one I have. Yeah.
I got to tell you, the wood there, like.
It looks to be solid wood, but today they can veneer up everything, and you wouldn't know. Right behind that, a 16th of an inch behind that could be MDF, and you would not know.
Yeah.
They can veneer up every square centimeter of visible.
Well, I mean, that corner piece, you see, in woodworking, I did woodworking. That corner piece is difficult to do. See that corner bit there? Like that cut. I mean, it would have been good if they had a cut that went into it, but that's difficult to do. That's laser cut virtually. It's pretty. I mean, this is what I love, is that extra attention to detail. So,
Arch, question for you, sir. It's a beautiful box. What do you do with it? So when I had my Panera, I used the wooden box to hold my car keys in.
I know. I love my Panera wood box.
Out of this, what do you store in this thing? Let's put it to use.
Well, I don't think you store anything in it. You just put it away.
No. Come on, it has to have utility. Take the little pouch out. You can use it as a jewelry box. What do you want to use it for?
The problem is that's the reason why people lose the cushions.
Of course.
You won't lose it. I know you'll put it in a good place.
Oh, that's what happens. People lose. I kind of I'll be honest with you. I'm a huge I just think this is such a perfect thing.
It is beautiful.
Catch up on some super chats. So firstly, we wanted to go to the website and have a look at the Watch Society. I'm going to call that up now. We're going to get this baby on the screen here. I'm going to get this up. Just let me get this up.
Mark, can I send this to Giancarlo to tease him a bit? Because he'll be jealous he's not here.
I already sent it. Talked to him on WhatsApp. Feel free.
Awesome.
Nice.
All right. Awesome.
One step ahead of you.
Here we go. Let's have a look here. The Watch Society. This is the website, guys. Please sign up. Jump. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe to this channel, the Watch Society. Let's have a sticky beak. Some great clips here. Let's have a look here.
So we're primarily a watch club, but we also do reviews. We have events, a lot of events, and interviews with guys that come in. So we chit chat. Bertrand Milan's in there from Moser, Mike Pearson, Christopher Ward.
When you say events, like meetups with people, like
we have meetups, and one of the more recent ones was a quick of our long event.
The cars. What's the cars there?
Do you have anything that goes on in San Francisco?
We do not have a San Francisco branch yet.
I would love to be informed of when that happens. I'd love to join, or if I could, attend. Because nothing seems to ever happen here in San Francisco.
There. That's
surprising.
Very,
the
very
second cool. Video there is the Watch Society with the Longanzona. That was our recent event we did with them here. So we had a little video of the event. People talking about
SD43, £2. J. Anthony is the guy HR wishes he was. We got Patek Philippe, $5. J. Anthony, tell us your mutual connection with Mark and some of the stuff you've liked from his content.
Yes. So Mark and I have never met, I don't believe formally, but John Carlo and I go back, 2016, 2017. We met through the YouTube universe. And then when he used to live in New Jersey, he and I hung out. Great guy. He helped start a society down in Atlanta, which I know Mark's a big part of. And
that's the Watch Society. That's him. He's the starter. The Atlanta Watch Society is what he started, and has since helped start this. Or he is the guy.
He is the guy. Actually, you can see if you scroll down on Mark's page right here, you'll see the interview with him and John Carlo. John Carlo is a great guy. He's done a bunch of other random channel pop-ins. Like I remember him on Urban Gentry at one point. Mm-hmm. Super cool guy, real enthusiast. He dragged me into the Texas equivalent of the society. And as you know, in the society, me and Mark, we end up meeting all these random people. So I've been watching your videos. The Tudor Pink Black Bay, you're in my head about that one. But what I really like about your channel is you have really good interviews with people. The Laurent Ferrier one was really interesting. Ferrier.
That's the kind of thing where we're lucky to get people here. So we're actually Charles Marine is the not North American, but the agent for the Americas, North and South America for Laurent Ferrier. So he was in town. We did an event with them, and we were able to sit him down and kind of pick his brain about the brand, which is an incredible brand that only makes a few hundred watches a year.
Yeah,
man, to have them in hand, those are some special pieces.
What brand?
Laurent Ferrier.
Laurent Ferrier.
Yeah, I will butcher the French all day long. Unfortunately.
Yeah,
tell me this, Mark. The watch. What I'm fine. I don't know. You tell me what's happened. There is a definite turn down in watches.
Yeah, I mean, the hype was so big during the bubble of COVID. But if you look at where it was going before and where it is now, it's kind of on the same trajectory. It just has this up bump that was just weird. But as that happens, there's a lot of people that you'll find that watches in the very premium range, the $15,000-$20,000 plus range, and watches below 2,000 are all very healthy. Those, I mean, you have people talking about being up 10-20% plus. But in the 2,000 to 10,000 range is really what's hurting, because people who used to buy that now are just looking to not buy. They can't buy that forever, so they're looking at, I still love collecting watches, so I'll buy a Longines or a micro brand. Micro brands are amazing how well they're doing, how many of them there are. Yeah. So micro brands are doing great because they're able to make those things at under $2,000. And then you have Vacheron, who's having a great year because that market has money and they'll spend it.
Omega is crazy. They keep putting their prices up. That's ridiculous. I don't understand what the fuck is going on with Omega.
And others, JLC. I mean,
JLC is insane. They are insane, the rises they've put through.
Yeah.
Is it doubling goods? The more they charge, the more the demand I think they're banking on. We'll see where that goes.
Yeah, cool. I love Omega. I'm not buying Omega at new prices the way they are. I have a lot of them, and I just don't see myself buying another one with these prices. They're just not. I like them, but I don't think they're that good. It's another reason why I won't buy Rolexes. They're not good enough for the price, in my opinion.
Yeah, how many Rolexes do you have, Mark? You got the
One.
1675 vintage.
That's it.
Oh, that's
Just the one that was handed down. The family heirloom is the family heirloom.
Wow. And what is it you dislike with Rolex?
They're just not worth the money. They're very basic watches. They're made very well. I always say they're watches that are made very well. They're very reliable. They're rather basic. They're not high horology or anything like that. But if you want a watch that is inoffensive in style, that works for everybody, and is reliable as hell, there it is. Rolex is the Toyota of watches.
Yep.
Yes.
What is worth the money? Better question.
You
What's
might
that?
say, I would say
What is worth the money
Seiko's.
for that price?
And that price,
Seiko's.
Glasuta,
Yeah.
that's probably my favorite in that price range.
I love Glasuta.
Pre-owned Breguet, you can start getting in that price range.
You hear that, Archie?
Yep. Yep.
No, I got to tell you, I've been a huge. I think Breguet is amazing, and especially when you look at some gold pieces, what I paid for my gold Breguet, which I think was about $8,000 to $9,000 US. It had no papers. It had box but no papers. That's insane value. And you know what? I'll tell you this, Mark. I wanted to originally get an Explorer 1. My friend said, why don't you get a Type 20 instead? And I thought, okay, good idea. Then he said, hang on a minute. There's a Type 21 for it. It was a bit more money. Yes, it was. But a Type 21 in solid gold, I mean, that is a major. In the day,
and the Type 20s wear small.
Off.
Like Type 21.
You go into a AD with a solid gold Type 21, they think
that's a lot of gold.
A baller. You know what I mean? They because that was such an expensive spend. They were not. And Breguet, I agree with you. Vacheron, I tell you honestly, I think, unfortunately, I love the Patek World Time I've got, but I got to be honest with you. I think they have become too commercial.
Yeah, like I said, you have Calatravas now with stamped guilloche and things like that. Patek is great if you get into the very high end. That's still top end watchmaking, but until you're there, I don't think they are what they were.
When did they go away?
They've become a victim of their own success, and
when they
I get it.
When what, Mark?
When they started putting a Patek seal on it, 2008. That's when they stopped submitting to the Geneva seal process. So now they don't have to submit to a third party. Now it's purely we can say whatever we want. It is what it is. So you can do more machine finishing, and that's that. No one has to say anything to you about it.
Yeah.
Question for you. We were talking about value for money. Christopher Ward is a brand that I know a lot of people like that I don't, but I discovered the Bel Canto, and you tell me, is that the great holy grail that everybody says it is?
I'll tease. I have a review coming out Thursday on
it.
Nice.
Have you seen this, Archie? It has an hour chime on it. It's like $3,000. Well, I guess it's like $4,000 now.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's Christopher Ward's an interesting brand. They really hit the market strong there. I mean, you can't. It is what it is. It's another brand that look. I suppose I like to look at traditional brands like Vacheron and things like that. But we've got our good friend from Malaysia joining us. Watch chat. Hello there. By the way, Mark, if at all possible, in the private chat, if you've got WhatsApp, put your phone number in there. This is the private chat, so I can add you to my list.
Sure.
Love to invite you more times. Same as you watch chat, you can put your number in private chat there. I can send you a WhatsApp from time to time to come on. I'd love to have quality watch talk here. I got to tell you, the whole thing is with many watches that is very disappointing is that, like, for example, Vacheron, it became the overseas went crazy. It went absolutely crazy. it started to attract the wrong element. You know what I mean? It started.
Who's the wrong element?
Speculator. Just buy. You know that. I think that we got Uzi joining us. Hello, Uzi. How can I help you?
I just had a real quick question for you.
Yes, sir.
I called you. Oh, if the panel doesn't mind, if I take like a minute just to ask you a quick watch question, and I'll jump.
No,
yes?
That's fine. Go ahead.
They don't mind. Okay, so I called your boy David SW today, try to trade both of my day dates for a full gold root beer GMT.
Sure.
And he wouldn't do it. He wants me to give him $3K more. I'm like, no, dude, I'm not doing that. I got obsessed over this watch. I pulled it up and Curly was on panel with Baba, and we seen this full gold fucking root beer, and it's nice. Rose gold, it matches the bracelet. It's nice. I want it. It's like an addict move. I want it now.
Sure.
Yeah,
Look. The problem is, I think you're 36. This guy here's got two 36 mil day dates, but they're not standard ones. They got custom diamond in the legs so.
It's not custom. No, it's not custom. No,
it's factory. They're factory diamonds in the. So these are reference number is correct to have that. The problem is when it comes to reselling, because it's a 36. I'll tell you the problem, Uzi. I'll tell you the problem. I'm going to lay it on the line to you. They are mega money to buy retail. They were mega money. They're a smaller size now. That's the problem. He doesn't want that. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want that either. If I was in his position,
20 grand for that.
Someone came to me with two day dates, which were factory diamonds. Okay, like we're talking factory diamond legs. That is double a normal day date. But when it comes to selling it on my site, I don't fucking want it. I totally understand that.
Listen,
and that's because I'm not trying to put your watch down because it is a beautiful
I'm just telling you what you offered me. Let me tell you what he offered me. He offered me $20K on the diamond one and $15K on the full set 1995 18238. He offered me $15K on that and $20K on the diamond one, which I wish he'd give me more than that. I think it should be an even trade for both day dates, and he would be up 10 grand. That's what I'm saying.
At the end of the day, you're always better off to sell your stuff yourself.
How much are they asking? Are they asking for the watch you want the trade for?
The root beer is like $40K almost.
Okay, so it's a $5K difference, and they're saying they asked for $3K difference, so they're bringing it down $2K.
Yeah, he wants me to add $3K on top, but I don't want to do that because I'm already losing 10 grand.
Well, on watches that lose value. And that diamond one, being on the sell, I've been on the selling side of it and buying side. That diamond one is going to sit for so long, it's going to cost them more money to have it because they're also buying, with a line of credit most likely. So it costs a percentage for every time it sits there. That one is going to be double the margin that they want normally for a Rolex. So that diamond one's just it sucks to want to have in your store even.
You can't find it anywhere online.
Plus the root beer, they probably had to buy at a small margin, so they probably have very little room in it.
I can see that, yeah.
I used to buy a lot of these.
I think it's not a terrible watch. You're not saying anything against the watch. The diamond work is actually amazing because it's factory Rolex diamond work.
There's just not a lot of people that want it in the aftermarket. And so it takes time.
People who want a day date, people who want a 36-day date, they want the cheapest 18238. They don't give a fuck if it's got original diamonds in the legs. They just want a gold day date. That's what they want. The problem is you've got a top of the line day date 36. The person who wants that is few and far between, Uzi. We told you the truth, Uzi. There were no $100 from you, so I was happy to tell you the fucking truth. They don't want your shit. They don't want it. They can't make any money. Does that make David SW bad? No, he doesn't want to get stuck with hard-to-sell stock.
I was haggling with him all day today.
And he gave you $2,000 off.
Back and forth.
$2,000 on a $40,000
Does
watch.
that answer your question, Uzi?
That's not actually bad. That's
It's
pretty
a
good.
hard
You can find it for
fucking thing to
37K.
sell.
Listen, dude, you can find that Rubio for 37K. I ain't stupid. I'm looking. It's for 30. It's 37K. You can find that same watch for 37. He
From a
offered me
dealer?
38.50.
I got to grab another super chat. Let me grab this super chat here. Madman, $10. Arch, Mark, J. Anthony. Who's more pathetic? A purist who only buys obscure pieces to look intelligent, or a hype beast who tries to buy his way into horological respect as a show pony? Think HR.
C, none of the above.
No.
I really
think
did like hype beast. You know that?
Yeah.
I don't mind personally. I don't mind a bit of a Rolex backbone. I like a bit of Rolex backbone, but nothing more pisses me off than somebody who goes, what do you think of my watches? They've got a Starbucks, they got a Pepsi, they got a Panda, and they say, oh, my dream
They're all the same
watch,
freaking watch.
my dream watch is a Nautilus or an Aquanaut in steel. And you think, that's not even that great a watch. I mean,
Have you seen the bracelets on those Nautiluses? The clasp are the cheapest piece of crap ever. Sorry, I didn't.
AP's not much better. AP's not much better.
Archie,
Get a Purex.
I dropped your name too. You know what you should be saying to me right now, Archie? You should be like, I'll give him a call. You should say, hey, you said, Uzi, I'm gonna call David SW for you. That's what you should have said. You should have told me he doesn't want my shit.
Uzi,
what are you thinking?
You know what? We told you the truth is, Uzi. What we're trying to say to you nicely, but because you're such a big donor, I didn't want to tell you this. The watches you bought are not easy sells.
What a
okay,
day
they are
a regular
beautiful
normal
watches.
day with no diamonds, Archie. Not both of them don't have diamonds. I'm telling you.
Sorry, what?
You're not
Say it again.
listening.
They are obscure references. They're not 18238 or
It's an 18238, Archie. That's what I just told you I had. Box and papers, full set, mint, no band stretch, perfect. You haven't seen a better date than this in your life from 1995. I guarantee you.
I'll call it up. Give me the
18238, full box
I
papers.
can't hear you. I can't even hear you. Just slow down.
Can you hear me now?
Down. Mumbling. It just nothing. I can't hear a damn fucking thing. Give me the reference for your Rolex. It's a what? It's an 18.
18238.
18. 1. Sorry, say it again.
18238, man.
It's a 18238.
I guess, yeah.
But yours is a special diamond one you've got.
I've got two of them, 2 watches. I was going to give him 2 Rolexes for one of his fucking.
He's trolling you, Arch. He's trolling you. This is a great panel.
Shut
Mark, you started off slow. No, Mark, you started off slow.
Hey,
Mark, you started off slow.
We got one of the best buyers. You got this guy here.
Hey, Mark. I love Mark.
Hey. Look, if I were when I was a buyer for Crown and Caliber and somebody was trying to push me, like, take my 2-day dates, one has diamonds, and be like, well, I like the other one. The diamond one, I guess I'll throw in because I have to. But I would not give a flying fuck about having that in the collection.
You go, girl. You tell him.
It is just
started
so
off a
hard
bit. Hey, Mark. You started off a bit PC.
Hey,
wait.
We're
talking money here, Norg. Shut the fuck up, bitch.
We got the 18. What's the other reference? You got an 18 what?
Yes.
118388.
118388.
Yes.
So that's got the diamonds in the legs and on the bezel, isn't it?
But I don't have that same dial, dude. I don't have that dial. Oh,
Not the computer dial, regular.
My volume's cranked. I'm sorry about that. Fuck.
What a ugly-looking watch.
The problem is he doesn't want to keep that in inventory.
No, you don't. You don't even want that as a reseller. To be perfectly honest, if you're buying that as a reseller, you're hoping to buy it at. And I'll be honest, typical Rolex, you're buying from a person, you're hoping for 20-25% margin on your turnaround. Something like that, you're hoping for 35+ margin because it'll be sitting there for so long, it'll be costing you money.
Mark, can I ask you a question? What kind of person would buy this type of watch? Be honest.
As the person that was told if you buy it, we'll put you on a Daytona list next. That's the
No. I'm sorry. Look, what type of person? The personality, douchebag, big douchebag.
Uzi, why do you want to? You shouldn't be trading your stuff in. This is the equivalent. Let me explain it to you in something you might understand.
I want the root beer.
This is the equivalent of going and buying a 7 Series and then getting angry they won't give you retail for it 5 years later. And the 7 Series depreciates like fuck. This is the same thing, man. You want the root beer. Well, you know, I got to be honest with you. Why do you have to trade your things in? Can't you just put it on a credit card?
I don't use credit cards. I don't have a credit card.
Okay. The truth is, the root beer is a hot watch. What Mark just said to you, it's a hot watch, low margin. This piece here, you should try selling this yourself. The other Rolex, he's probably not too bad on. You know, the 18238.
He's $1,000 shy on it. He should give me $16K for it. But he's giving me he said he'd give me 15. But I think
did other people offer you that?
Huh?
Did other people offer you more?
I didn't ask. I didn't try to trade both watches at one time for somebody else's watch. I never tried this yet. This is new.
Well, I'm saying when you say like he should offer you that, the question is why should he?
Because I see the market. I know what the box papers. It has everything. It has all the little extra things. Perfect. There's not even a crease on the papers.
Whose market? Like the market where? On Chrono? On eBay? On
collectively all together, yes. So if you browse it.
Because what they'll do, because they sell enough, it's going to be based on what their customer is and their market and what they've seen the sales on it. So if they're used to selling at a certain point and know it can turn around that point with their customers and who comes to them, that's what they're going to base it off of. So the market might be slightly different. And it's also when you see a lot of things for sale, it's what they're hoping for. And a lot of people, you know, may just, you know, when they actually sell it, are knocking some money off of what you see. The actual market of what the sales are probably a little less.
Mark, don't you agree? This watch here is not hot. He wants a gold root beer. That is a very, very hot watch. So you're selling two softer watches for one hot, and you're angry the pricing trade is not in your favor.
Yes, that's where we're at.
This is the equivalent. If I wanted to sell my JLC to David SW, he doesn't really want my gold JLC. Wouldn't you back me up on that, Mark? No matter how good that JLC is, he doesn't really fucking want it.
No, he's delusional. He's delusional. Tell him, Jay Anthony.
This watch is for a niche market. This is the kind of watch that if you're in Beverly Hills or more likely Miami, there's a market for it. But across the U.S. specifically, there's not a lot of market for this.
Unlike Miami. Let me translate what you just said. I need douchebags.
1% of the comments of the people want this watch. I have nothing against this watch, but it takes a very.
You gotta go.
Hey, quit talking about my watch like that, motherfucker.
I have an 18238 myself, sir. I'm not hating on you. I'm making a statement of fact.
He called you a douchebag, Lizzie. What are you going to do about it?
Shut the fuck up.
He called you a douchebag in a nice way.
You're a douchebag.
Yes.
Why did Patek quit using the Geneva seal? And the answer was...
You go, Jay Anthony.
Just hang on. I got to answer the super chat.
I don't care. I'm not responding to this shit.
The answer is they stopped using the Geneva seal because it costs money to put them in to get certified and that there. Whereas the Patek seal, their own seal, they keep the money in-house. Why pay money out to other fuckwits? The other thing with the Geneva seal that annoyed me is they even started getting Cartier putting pieces in, which I don't know if that's such a great thing. So that they wanted
Can
to
we ask
what
his opinion is? What's that? What's your opinion? Douchebag?
Here we go. We got another super chat. J Patel Philippe, $5. AC3 and J Ant, take Mark shopping on the AP website and ideal code 1159. Mark, how did you find code 1159 sales? Tell me that. That's another watch where people are disappointed.
Hard to sell. People, I mean, yeah, hard to sell, period. The people who buy them so that they can get the Royal Oak 90% of the time.
Yeah.
So they immediately buy them and sell it.
And
this guy's a great guest, Archie.
Like
10. You did a great job with Mark. Great guest.
That being said, You give me the Star Wheel version of the Kodal M59. That's a beautiful watch. I'm not saying Kodal M59 across the board or anything, but that watch I really love.
I got to tell you, the thing you've got to realize is with these Code 1159s, I think they were completely out of their mind when they released that range. They didn't listen to anybody. They didn't listen to the market. And
pull it up. Pull it up. Can you pull it up?
They got away with it. They got away with it because people wanted the fucking Royal Oak. That's the reason. They would eat this dog shit.
Well, you can't have a one-watch brand because if the watch becomes out of fashion for any reason, you suddenly don't have a company.
You know what the 11 Code, you know what's a bargain? You know the Jules Audemars, Mark, the Jules Audemars, they are a bargain. You know Jules Audemars?
Oh, yeah. Those are great. Yeah, they were the pre-existing, they're like the classic dress watch looking majority of them.
Exactly. That's sort of the predecessor to the Code 1159. They kind of...
Now here's the thing. The inside baseball is their CEO has changed now.
Yes.
As of
few
months.
When you were buying Jules Audemars, how was the resale value on them?
Those would fly. No, because they're inexpensive.
Yeah, you'd have to buy it cheap, but you couldn't pay big money for them. You had to buy them
No,
cheap.
well, they didn't sell for big money in the general market. So when you bought them with the average margin, and they would fly.
Yeah.
But you don't see them very often because they were never produced in high numbers.
Patek Philippe, $5. Mark, you must nuke all of AC3's collection and take the cash to buy Pontiff one exit watch. What would it be? AC3 values his collection at $90,000 US. Yeah, what would you buy? $90,000 US.
Can you get a platinum datograph for that? Or a datograph in general?
Ooh.
That would be a good one. Or an Odysseus, white gold Odysseus, you can certainly get. Wouldn't be mad at those. If you like a gold watch, like a solid gold watch, the green dial chronograph overseas is fucking gorgeous. And you can go weird. You can get you can just get like a giant resonance or something if you want to go weird.
I love the rose gold overseas. That's a fucking on the bracelet. That is, you know, the funny thing
on the green one.
Why does VC, they embrace strap changes? Like they basically said, you know, we give you 3 straps. You get the gold bracelet, you get a leather strap and a rubber strap. Whereas Rolex are complete cunts about it. They even move the holes on the case so you can't swap bracelets.
Because somebody cares about their customers more.
Have you seen the VC strap disconnect? It's so easy. You just kind of flick your finger underneath it. It pops right off. It is so, oh, you got it right. Yeah, that is such a good design. It's so convenient.
Love it.
Yeah.
Did you know my Jaeger-LeCoultre, that master compressor chronograph I've got?
Oh, that's right. They have the quick change on that. That's similar.
And it's got a steel. It's done in steel because the gold will wear. So they've lined it in, which is such a clever idea, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. JLC did that with long before, and it added a lot of thickness to the case because it's the case that moves. Versus, you can use any spring bar in it.
Yes, it's a clever idea.
Yeah, that's a really cool one. The only downside is it adds thickness, so you can't get it too thin on the case. But man, does it work well.
Uzi's angry. Uzi's angry that you told him. He wanted you to call the dealer and say the dealer's charging too much, do something. But I like Uzi's watch. I really like his day date. And the fact that it's got the diamonds in the legs, that is huge money. That's drug dealer money new. But the thing is, what I don't understand with Uzi, why the fuck does he want to sell that to get a root beer? So I don't know. Why do you do this, Uzi? If you wanted to trade out of your watches, the watch you bought is probably the worst fucking Rolex you could have possibly bought. You should have bought a Pepsi or a fucking Panda, hype. Then he would gladly trade you into.
Am I still here? Can you hear me?
Yeah, Mark's here.
Do you hear me?
We hear
We
you.
can hear you.
Oh, yeah. Just ask him to do a trade. Even Stevens, he's coming 10K up.
Yeah, that's because he doesn't
Is
want your stuff. He doesn't want your stuff.
He's got
okay?
holding costs, assuming he can sell it, and it's an opportunity cost for him.
Because
I
he's
think the
wrapping
best
up
way to
by
describe
inventory.
that Rolex, Uzi, that's the equivalent of a Maserati Ghibli.
Let's not be mean, Archie.
It's not that
It's a
bad.
fantastic thing, but nobody wants it. They don't want to
Yeah.
own it.
That root beer looks so nice with that rose gold. I never noticed it until the other day. It just really, I like. It looks like it would wear like a sub date kind of almost, right? 40 millimeter, probably kind of the same weight, same fill as a sub date potentially. Am I wrong? I haven't tried the watch on, so I'm just assuming from looks that it's not. It wears like a sub date. Is that fair to assume?
It's an amazing watch.
That's not the. Did you ever wear one before?
I have actually put on a solid gold root beer. They're incredible.
Does it wear like a sub date? Does it feel like it?
It wears different because the bracelet's different.
Really? Because they look really the same to me. Oyster.
Look,
Well, if
Uzi,
I
I don't know
remember
why
correctly,
can't
it's
you just be
different.
content with what you got, man? You know what I would do if I were you? Seriously, I want to be kind to you because I love you, Uzi. Sell the 118238 because that's actually a hot watch. And instead of getting a solid gold root beer, get a two-tone. Two-tone root beer.
I would never wear a two-tone
ideal.
watch. I would never do
What's
that.
that?
They look
If
terrible.
you want to, let me tell you something, Uzi. If you want to wear solid gold, you got to pony up and pay the bucks.
I already paid it. I have it in two watches. It's in the form of a wristwatch.
Two-tone looks horrible, but the diamonds on the side of a date, that's fine.
Yeah. My date fucking busts any motherfucking two-tone out there. Two-tone wearers are bitches.
Unfortunately, that's where your price pegged at the moment, but Uzi. You're not a Cadillac buyer, you're a Buick driver. Do you understand? You're not Cadillac, you're Buick. Okay?
What does that even mean?
That's what it means. You're not a Cadillac
Being
driver.
cool, man.
You're a Buick man. Nothing wrong with being a Buick man. That's a bloody Buick. You should be proud of being a Buick
Which
man.
one's the Buick? Which one's the Buick? You call my date a Buick?
No, you're a Buick driver. You're not a Cadillac man.
I'm not a Cadillac man. No, I'm not.
You're a Buick man, okay?
Yes.
It's like HR. He's not a German car man. He drives a Skoda. Skoda is for people, if they had any brains, they'd buy fucking Japanese. They wouldn't buy Czechoslovakian European car. I mean, that's like buying a BMW with its unreliability, with no prestige. Why the fuck would you do it? That's like marrying the ugly girl who doesn't fuck. Why would you do it?
So do you like the full gold root beer? Is that Buick for me enough or no? Is that a Buick watch?
No, you can't afford the full gold root beer.
I have it in two day dates right now. What are you talking about?
No, you don't have it in 2 dates. You got to add $5,000. You said.
No, he wants $3
almost
grand
have
more.
it in 2. Look, Uzi, you got some beautiful watches. I don't know why you bought these obscure pieces. You should have gone 18238, 18238, just the standard model. No, you wanted the baller one. Well, unfortunately, the thing is, when you buy a BMW and you spec every option, when it comes to resale, you discover it would have been better to get the base model 3 Series instead of every fucking option ticked. You've just discovered it. You've learned a lesson of life, Uzi. You can proceed. It only, Uzi, what Mark's trying to tell you is the dealer doesn't want that diamond 36 mil. He's got to sell that watch cheap enough to somebody who wants a non-diamond one who says, wow, this is a bargain. I can get a diamond one at this price. That's a hard buyer. Okay?
I'm listening. I'm over here listening.
Joining us. Hello, Huff.
Hey, Hoff.
What's up,
Hey, Huff.
Uzi taking a beating?
Yeah, they're beating me up over this watch.
No, but we're just telling you the truth. You don't want
Yeah, I
listen
know.
to the truth.
It all truth always hurts. See this. You had a life lesson here.
I'm gonna go get some sourdough. I gotta get some sourdough. I gotta get some carbs. Okay, just be 1 minute. You just
all
keep
right. Well, you
chatting.
carbo load. I'll try to keep these fellas entertained. But Uzi, you're learning a life lesson here. You got to be very careful who you consult when you go to buy new wristwatches.
I consulted myself on this one.
So you got no one else to blame.
I know. Hey, I don't dislike the watch. I still don't dislike it. I still do not dislike. I love the watch. I want the fucking root beer though.
Why? Because it weighs heavier?
Because it's nice looking. I like the root beer. Look at that thing. It's nice. Yeah, it weighs heavier. It doesn't flop down on the wrist. It probably wears like a sub date. Can I assume that? Because
So yeah, as someone who owned the sub date and also owned the GMT white gold, I had a Meteorite Pepsi.
Yes.
It'll definitely weigh heavier. As gold obviously has a lot more heft to it, but the bracelet's slightly thinner that you'll feel, especially if you had a modern ceramic sub. And also the thickness of the case is probably a couple millimeters less on the GMT Master.
But does it wear nice? Like pretty similar to the
yeah, it'll wear nicer for you in my opinion. I don't know what the rest of the panel thinks, but the GMT in solid gold wears pretty damn nice. Especially if you're looking for a sub date type feel.
That's what I like. So you think that's a good trade? Both watches for the.
Hold on, we were about to get some experts on the panel jumping in. Oh, hold on, you're on mute.
Yeah, everyone, you're on mute.
Got it. Sorry. Hi, Uzi. Sorry, just my point of view. I think you have a very nice collection there, and I same with Archie. I don't understand why you want to sell it and trade that in with a root beer. Personally, I think a root beer, it's a very nice watch, and I think it's kind of hype, and a lot of people wants it. But for a day date, I think that's, to me, if I see someone who has a day date, and compared to someone who has a Daytona or a root beer or a GMT Master 2, I hold high regards to the person who actually has a day date, because to me it's, wow, this guy actually knows his watches. He's kind of like a purist. He doesn't get influenced by the hype, and that's what I think. So I to me, if I were you, I love that. I would have kept the day date, but that's just my point of view.
Yeah, I respect. I didn't get influenced by any hype. I just saw the root beer the other day in full gold and rose gold. I've never really seen many people pull it up on here, and it just really stuck out because of how like the brown matches the rose gold in the top. You know, it's just a very nice watch. That's
no, it is a beautiful watch. I agree with you.
But I can't afford it.
How much is he asking for the root beer you're trading towards?
$38,000 pretty much. $38,500.
It feels about $1,500 too expensive in my opinion.
Here we go. We got a couple of super chats. Let's catch up here. We got CB, $5. Show Uzi the picture I sent. Root beer full gold is amazing. We got Patek Philippe, $5. Watch chat. Are dress watches doing okay in Kuala Lumpur, or is it crazy sports? Is sports crazy? Is there still a good market for precious metal?
I think once upon a time, sport watches are actually quite a hype. But recently I've noticed, and more people are kind of interested in dressier piece, like the day date. I mean, I've got people who tell me that, you know, if one has a golden day date with a stone dial, that says it all. You know, it's enough. You're kind of like a heavy hitter here. So I think the dress watch is becoming kind of a trend these days, and because people prefer smaller watches, that's why. And most sport watches are bigger. So
we got a next question. Patek Philippe, $2. Quick question for the panel. Pick your favorite Cartier.
I'll go first since I have the worst answer I'll get judged for. I like the Roadster. I can't tell you why. And I know it's not horologically brilliant, but I like the Roadster in 18K automatic.
I'll go next. If we're talking current catalog, I would go Pasha Skeleton, also an odd pick.
I would probably also go with the Roadster, having actually worn one. It's a big hunk of chunk of love, burning love. It's a big, heavy watch. And yeah,
I love the Cartier
love it.
Tourneau. It's got a 16 mil strap, Tourneau case, Cartier, most beautiful Guilloche dial. Just has an ETA movement. It was only an 18 karat gold. I own that watch twice. Everybody hates it, but I think it's actually pretty. I'd like to get one again.
Doesn't that make you love it more when someone really hates it and so polarizing? Yeah. My favorite watches are that way.
Patek Philippe, $5. Mark, do you think Archie should consider experiencing a Patek Philippe grand complication for once in his life?
Any grand complication from the big boys, yes. But Patek or Vacheron would be my top, because all of that's just on your wrist. The absolute ridiculousness of it.
Is a world time? That's not a grand complication. That's a complication. No, is that enough?
No. Grand complication is like minute repeater plus, perpetual calendar. That's the kind of thing. Like it's the big boy complications. Or multiple of those. But World Time is great, but it's not one of the big boys.
It's not the same league.
No.
It's like Uzi. It's not a solid gold, rose gold GMT, Uzi. I don't make it either, Uzi.
Say what?
CB, $5. I'm sorry, but what I heard hurts my ears. Nautilus bracelet is crap. Really? Rolex, our Rolex is Toyota. What kind of watches do you guys own? CB.
So let me apologize, because the Nautilus bracelet crap is me. There's actually a review on my channel, not that you need to watch, of the 5712. And if you've ever held one of those, and I have, and if you have one, I apologize. The buckle / whatever you want to call it, where the bracelet comes together, is worse than Seiko quality. And it's stainless steel. The whole watch is stainless steel. I'm not arguing about the movement. I'm not arguing about the Gerald Genta design. It's a beautiful watch. It has a very cheap feeling bracelet. Fact.
I said my piece about the Rolex and being like a Toyota. It's not a bad thing. It is what it is. They will run forever. They are very reliable. They're made identically, to a standard that is very high, but it's not high horology. It's not hand finished. It's not. It's a very well made beater, for lack of a better word.
I think for the same price, if you were to go with independent brands, you probably get better value.
Oh yeah, definitely. But if you want to be
brands, you have people like Uzi who want to trade them in. They will be slaughtered even more.
Hey, take it easy, guys. I'm gonna go lick my fucking wounds. I'm gonna grab some Dairy Queen and shit. All right, see you, Arch. Thanks, asshole.
Sam Davidson, $2, £2. Love the Pontiff, thank you. And we got Patek Philippe, $5. Mark, tell us about Archie Luxury. He gave you the soul reading when you first came on. How have you seen Archie's influence on YouTube?
Don't ask me anybody's influence on YouTube. I don't know enough. But one of the things is I think everyone's known Archie Luxury for the channels from, good God, it's like the original YouTube channel for watches. I don't know anyone that's been around as long. And I like the attitude. It's ridiculous in a good way. Ridiculous but honest. That's what I like.
So he's like the cockroach of YouTube watch world.
Sure, why not? But the thing is, there's so many YouTube out there that are out there to be ridiculous just to be ridiculous and try and be bigger than life. And half the things they do is like, that's complete bullshit, especially if you've been in the industry. You look at it and, we're doing this business. Like, no, you're not. I've been in the industry. I know what you're doing. I know you're
you know the margins. When
that stupid.
Why? How many private planes have you taken to deliver a wristwatch?
Right, exactly. That kind of BS. It's like, no, your margins are gone in that.
Right.
Like, don't give me that bullshit.
Wait,
So when
you mean you
somebody,
didn't
like,
have sushi for lunch today?
with a timepiece gentleman or something like that, that guy when he first came on,
Yeah.
you know, the
Oh,
scene,
yeah.
me and another buyer were sitting there, like his second video, we saw it, and we're laughing our ass off because we know exactly what he's buying these things for and selling these things for. And if he is 100% honest, or even when he's boasting how much he's selling, like, we know there's no fucking way he can barely afford a storefront, let alone everything else he's showing. Like, this guy's a scam. Move on. The amount of people that fell for that stupid stuff. Like, that's the kind of thing that people are just bullshit on YouTube versus just be honest. You can be honest, though.
And how long he was able to keep it going on various social media platforms is even scarier.
It shows how there's a lot of dumb people out there.
Yeah.
Very quickly, I got a CB, $5. Talking with mouthful is rude. Talking with mouthful is rude. Forgetting my chat is all. We did your chat, CB. We caught up. We showed Uzi the picture.
Wait. You got a great panel here. All right, Irwin's output's a bit low, but he's got potential. You got a great panel. Pushback. Hey, intelligent conversation. What does Archie do? Leaves the room to stuff himself with sourdough bread. What the fuck, Arch? So ignore the chat.
Uzi telling me how much. Mark told him very quickly, as you said, Mark, there's nothing wrong with the Rolex he had. It's a beautiful Rolex. The problem is
he said it. You're stuffing your CB sends you chat, sends you pics. You ignore him. You're stuffing yourself with fucking sourdough bread, you fat fuck.
Okay, let's just keep Naki off for a bit. I got another super chat. Patek Philippe, $5. Mark, how was the interview with Bertrand Malin? And how do you feel about Moser watches in general?
That was great. That was a quick interview. We had another one of our members do the interview. I was behind the camera on that one. But it was great. They did an event with us, and they have honestly, I mean, they're independent, which is nice because they don't have to go through all the bullshit of Swatch or some other group. And they're incredibly kind to come out. Just talking about them in general is they were nicest people possible, sat and talked with everybody there and go into everything. They were, they're some of the nicest people on the back end of just as they are as humans. And Moser watches in general, I love them. Yeah, it's hard to make a watch that's designed as so of your brand that you don't even have to put your name on it and people know what it is. That's a hard thing to do. So to be able to create a design that's not way out there, so it's not a Hublot design or, you know, Santos or something that's very different in case shape or something. It's a round watch, but you still know it's a Moser from across the room. That's a hard thing to do. And when you talk about the hardest thing to do in watches, it's not actually high-end movements. It's creating a design that people like and is unique. That is a harder thing to do than making a high-end movement. You know, you can pay somebody to make a high-end movement and finishing, but having that design, I think, is something even better. And also the movements are quite nice.
Love their streamliners.
Me too. Yeah. That's my if I were ever to get a Moser, streamliner flyback is my move.
And seeing the Vanta Black in person,
there's so many great configs on that one.
Getting pictures of that is so hard.
Moser,
we got a super chat. Patek Philippe, $10. Mark, fun fact about the Archieverse: given you did a Ming event video, we had a member here who accidentally bought 38 Mings on his credit card during a release.
That's good credit limit. Good for them.
I mean, given how the resale was at that time, you know, they might have been really worth keeping it.
I'd be surprised if they let that order process.
I don't think we didn't. Unfortunately, we didn't have a video on the Ming event because of how the event was. We did social media on it. But yeah, Ming was actually one of the best events we did because they came in and we did 35 people one night, 35 people the next night in a private club. So it was really nice and intimate, and being able to sit there and talk with them and see all the watches, which is a hard thing to do because Ming doesn't exactly have boutiques everywhere or something. But they were,
we got a super chat here. Patel, we got CB $5. Pull up the picture and show J. Anthony pure silk on the wrist. Rose gold 5712 Nautilus with that terrible crappy bracelet you were talking about.
Yeah, but he's talking about the clamps specifically. I mean the clasp. Sorry.
I just put the link in the chat. I will do it again. And no offense, CB, it's a beautiful watch. And if you bought it at retail or even a couple of years ago, that was the exception of a hell of a great investment. So much, support for you, good sir. But I just put a picture of the clasp. The clasp is a circa 1980s Rolex fold-over lock with like a really flimsy. Again, love the watch. And if you want to sell it to me, I'm happy to take it for you at retail price. But I cannot recommend the bracelet, and I'm sorry. What was that?
It's fascinating. Mark, tell me this: the where do you see the watch industry in 5 years' time? What do you see happening in 5 years?
I still think continues its growth. I think it's done most of its. I don't want to say most of it, but certainly done some correction. But the amount of independence makes it interesting to me of what happens to them. You're going to have some that do well and very well, and some that won't. But there's enough independence out there, enough people want it. I wonder if some of the legacy brands get hurt on that eventually. Eventually, how slow those brands run, especially Swatch Group, is probably the biggest sinner in that. Is so slow to change and respond to the market and what people want versus what these independents are doing. They're probably the one that's going to have a hard time.
And how aggressively they raise their retail prices during the good times. I think they were some of the worst.
Them and Richemont. Also Tag Heuer, LVMH too. Tag's gone ridiculous in their pricing too. We're talking $10,000. They're now, I think they have Monacos that are more expensive than Speedmasters.
I still can't forgive them for the Curium collection of 20 years ago. I got to get over that.
I think Rolex is hurting.
Tell me this. I'm gonna give you some brands. Tell me what you think is more toxic. Ulysses Nardin, Gerard Perregay, Ebel, Borman Mercer.
Ulysses Nardin's just going to have a hard time surviving. I think the Freak is a great watch, and the rest of their line, no one knows.
I love their Diver X. That's the only out of any of those brands he just named. The only one I would ever consider purchasing is the Ulysses Nardin Diver X as a watch I'd really wear.
L'Oreal's nice.
Yeah,
it's a little pricey, but the aftermarket is solid on the Jar Perigo.
But I have a Royal Oak, so I feel like I have no need for the Laureato then.
That's fair. How many integrated, sports watches do you need?
Right.
I'm at one. I'm happy with that.
Me too.
I don't even have a beater one.
With your 1921, where do you see that? Like they're never really that cheap. 1921, you got the bigger size, I take it.
Yeah,
it's 38, and they got the what is it?
They have a 36 and a 40. I have a 40.
36 and okay. What is what do you think the investment side of that is? What's that going to be worth in 5 years? It'll stay the same, or
I think they're going to have to freeze the new price on it because no one's really buying it that much, very well at that price, which is like 40,000. The aftermarket price is mid-20s. I could see it getting up to 30s, low 30s. I don't think I think that's more appropriate to where it is, because it's not a gold bracelet; it's a gold watch. It's relatively simple, beautiful. I love it, but unless there becomes a want for it, so like the Cartier Crash or something like that, where suddenly people want it and the price goes flying, which I'd love to see. Not that I'm selling the watch, but actually, I wouldn't love to see it be more expensive than sure.
Tell me, what do you think in 20 years' time? What is going to be the garbage from today? Is it going to be like Pam's? Is it going to what is going to be the
Rolex Steel Sports?
Who is the Frank Mueller of 20 years from now? Because that's who was hot 20 years ago. That's no.
They were very hot, very hot.
I wonder about Richard Mille.
Sorry,
the Richard Mille. There's the market for that is not large.
That's the brand that popped into my head first thing.
But all right, I know, and that's the obvious one, especially given the design cues. But do we understand why? And no insult to all of the esteemed gentlemen on this panel, but I think when people bring up how Frank Mueller fell out of favor, it's important to explain why. It was a little more than just the design became passé. It was kind of how they were targeting jewelers who were actually reselling those watches. They were actually suing and issuing lawsuits to jewelers that were, quote unquote, busting down the Frank Mueller watches. He was so outraged that someone was, modifying his watches, and especially when he thought, they did diamonds very tastefully. And when the rappers and the celebrities at the time were just flooding these things, he was actually issuing cease and desist to jewelers that were doing that, which in turn, he wouldn't allow, if resellers took any of that stuff, he would lock them out of resellers. And it became such a toxic relationship that the whole gray market for those watches fell through the floor. Everyone banded together and said, fuck this brand.
Richard Mille exists purely to say, I have money and look at this on my wrist. That's why it's big and loud.
Jacob and Co. What's your feeling? Jacob and Co.
Dog shit.
Yeah. Jeez. They make some interesting watches. But they're kind of like museum pieces. They're like, hey, look, that's cool. Moving on with my day. If you want the hey, look, that's cool and it's really well made, you buy Van Cleef and Arpels.
I think that Epic Chrono is the only one I would ever consider out of there. Did you ever see that one? I mean, it's grossly overpriced.
Jacob and Co. Roger make 3 watches and sell them to 3 people, and that's
Roger Dubois.
Does anyone care? But they just started coming out with some of the old stuff back again, kind of thing, and that they actually looked really good. I don't know how strong the market is on that because the price point's kind of high, and that's a flooded market for other things. So. Good luck to them. Might work out.
Frederic Constant.
I mean, they're bang for buck. They make solid bang for buck watches.
Tell me this: you've been to Rodeo Drive, Mark?
I have not actually.
Oh, okay. The Hollywood.
I try to avoid LA like the plague, personally.
It's just
I'm from Miami originally. I don't need to go to Miami with more people and less good food.
That whole thing where people were too scared to ask for discounts, you just pay full retail. That's over.
You should always go in and start asking for discounts. I don't care what it is. Make them tell you no. There's no problem.
I'm always that person embarrassing myself. Like, hey, all cash, no tax.
One of my favorite stories is the Hodinkee writers used to, just for fun, would go when they were on trips somewhere, would just go into a Rolex dealer, slap down a credit card, and say, "I'm here to buy a Daytona," and just watch their face, just to mess with them.
That's fucking hysterical.
I'm here to buy.
You got to do that kind of thing. Yeah. Just mess with them.
Which
Daytona? Hey, I want Daytona. Give it to me.
Well, why don't they pull out a gold one then?
Yeah, fair enough.
You can steal Daytona.
Arch, that would be a way to get him, right?
Yes.
You truck out even a platinum or one of the tacky gold ones with all the gold or diamond dial.
I don't
like the zebra dial on the weird strap or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they pull out the beach one and nobody wanted, and then watch what happens.
Yep.
Here we go. $5. Patek Philippe. Mark, what's the drum on bid-ask spread on FP Journe at a dealer? Is it massive margin because they're buying low?
Nobody's buying Journe low on the aftermarket. There's too much demand for them and move. Yeah, Journe is just, there's still a wait list to buy them new. That's over a year long. So that as long as that happens, it's going to, there isn't a whole lot of margin in them in the used market. unless you were somebody of a certain company that bought as many as possible back when, and you're slowly letting them out. Because there might be a company out there who bought so many that they actually controlled at some point like 15% of the entire.
Heard the dog whistle.
Yeah.
Arch, you had David N in the chat saying you missed his super chat, so just wanted to. This was one I noticed in the queue. So
here we go. There, let's go. David N, $2. I know I mentioned that. I mentioned that before. David N, $2 Canadian. Why did Patek quit using the seal? And the reason was so that they didn't have to pay anything when you get the Geneva
tax.
seal. You've got to pay money for it, so they took it in house and
Well,
saved
you also have to submit it to a third party then. So now they can just say we do whatever we want. We put a Patek seal on it, and it is better than the Geneva seal, as they say, because we're able to try new technology on it, like stamping our
Exactly right.
So that's what I said. They tripled their watch output with no new watchmakers.
Just like Rolex.
Yeah. At least, I mean, Rolex is Rolex.
They have their own certification as well.
Yeah. I mean, the watches are accurate. I'll give them that.
I am getting a little tired. I don't know why. Maybe I'm watching these streams too long. With everyone comparing, every watch needs to be robust, right? Like, why does every watch have to be that robust? Half of these guys aren't even leaving the houses with them, let alone doing like any real manly activities with them. So how robust does a desk diver really need to be in 2024?
Any watch I have needs to go 5 to 10 years with it still being relatively accurate, relatively being 10 to 20 seconds a day.
And that is fair. I'm with you there.
Yeah.
We got another super chat. Let's catch up here. We've got a few super chats here. Patek Philippe, $5. Look, Jay-Ant, I love you, but AC3, take Jay-Ant shopping and pick an ideal Shinola that screams Jay-Ant to AC3.
Please go automatic. Don't kill me here. There's also manual wines, no quartz.
Okie dokie.
You can pick the Superior Monster. You can pick any of the automatic collection. I'm fine with it.
All right, we're shopping Shinola here.
You don't know shit from Shinola. Yeah. I've had like 4 of these things. I never keep them more than like a month and get rid of them. I can't seem to keep them long term.
I hate buying watches like this because I'll get too lazy and they'll just sit in my drawers forever.
Yep, exactly.
Are these?
Well, he does this off. What's the worst he did to your music?
Huh?
Are these lower price watches?
Yes, Mikey.
I tell you, the one that screens J. Anthony. Here we go. Look at this.
The Speedway.
Good one.
Speedway, yes. Blue with yellow. Look at that. How's that with that beautiful strap?
Cool.
That's J. Anthony.
True story. Actually, credit to you. I almost bought one of these this summer when I was in Michigan at Saugatuck on the Water. This was in a local dealer.
Now you have to. I think you have to now.
I wanted a discount. They didn't want to give me a discount. I like that.
$5,000? Are you out of your fucking mind?
It's a limited edition.
And what's the movement then? The 7750?
It's a Salida.
I mean, it's.
That's
I
the
love
Salida version of it. Yeah.
Fuck, I like the colors, but $5,000. I like the pushes. There's many things I like. But
shit, I even like the lugs.
How much is that in freedom dollars?
I like the bracelet.
I think it was like $3,200 when I looked at it this summer. I wanted to pay less.
Yeah. Hey, $3,200 for 7750. Well, that's not too bad.
So
no, it's a Salida. It's Salida.
Well, it's the Salida equivalent of the 7750.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Archie, there's a GM side story to this watch, since you keep baiting me on General Motors. So this watch is assembled. I don't say built. It's assembled of Swiss and other sourced parts in the Argonaut building in downtown Detroit, which used to be the General Motors laboratory building. So it's built in an old GM building designed by Albert Kahn, who is a famous architect if you're into architecture. So it's kind of a GM watch, Archie. You should buy one.
You'd never. Look, it's not. I like the colors. The colors, I've never seen anything like it. Those colors are.
Even the
special.
numerals look amazing when they were going, how they were applied.
Yeah, this
I
is
do like this watch. I actually would buy this watch, so I can't speak here. Feel free
I
to make
would
fun.
too.
We got a super chat. Patel Philippe, $5. Watch chat. Is the code 1159 more popular than the VC 56 where you are?
I hope not.
But
Well,
I
think
think the code 1159. Sorry, I'm jumping in there.
Go ahead.
You go on, jump in.
The code 1159 probably sells more, but immediately gets sold. People I know who have the 56 bought it because they wanted it.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there. I think the code 1159, it's a watch. People want it because it's an Audemars Piguet. Whereas the Vacheron 56, on the other hand, you really need to know your watches for you to get one. So people here in Malaysia, I think they'll go for the 1159.
We've got another super chat. Dirk Diglock, $2. Hoff P. Diddy, best RM that you saw at his party.
Damn, I wish I knew RM movements like that. I don't know. The RM69, Derek. How about that?
That's a good number for Diddy.
Yeah.
We got a Patel Philippe here, $5. Watch chat. Build an ideal 3-piece dress watch collection for AC3 for him to have style when he visits KL. I'm actually looking at maybe going to KL for a month or two next year, and they've got some very good incentives for digital nomads. I actually am really keen to come to KL. I really love. I think KL is the perfect sweet spot. It's kind of Bangkok is sort of it's the glory's over, but I got to be honest with you, KL, nice food, great people, just a great time. So I actually would love to go there. So what 3-piece dress watch? 3-piece dress watch collection. Fuck.
I think the first one will be code 1159.
1159. Jeez.
Just make sure he doesn't buy any of those cheap rubber nasty straps off eBay for $3, because that's exactly what he would do.
I think the second one will probably be. I know you like Breguet, so how about a Breguet Classic 7137?
Yeah, I love Breguet. Breguet is such a good brand. It's Mark, if someone's got a Breguet, you've got to give them more credit.
Yeah,
you got to try and help them more. If they got a Breguet, that's
you love watches.
A watch
if you have Breguet.
that is such a cutting thing, you know. Like I think Breguet and JLC, the watchmaker's watch. You know that. Do you have a JLC, Mark?
I don't. I would love to have a Master Collection Moonphase. That's probably. I know it's a big classic dress watch, but I love that one, to be honest.
Yeah.
I always think it's one of those, especially in gold, it's a steal compared to a lot of other watches in the that are that well made.
Sorry, actually, the last watch will be the Lang & High Fabric 3.
Ooh,
German.
Very cool. CB, $5. Funny that Shitola collector shit on Patek. That explains everything.
CB, my friend, are you okay? Can you handle somebody having a different opinion than you? Or are you gonna have a little meltdown here? Can we send you some help? Mark, as a watch trader, feel free to tell me I'm clueless, and I totally take it. You've seen lots of these Pateks.
I'm not arguing with you on that clasp.
Tell me how great the clasp is. How great is it?
It's not. It's really not. And I like the Nautilus overall. I like the look of it. I like the feel of it. And I'll take a Nautilus over a Royal Oak, to be perfectly honest. But the clasp is
right there with you. Yeah, right there with you.
Give me a white dial 5711. I'm a happy man.
Right there with you.
We've got another super chat here. Mobster $2. Tan was talking mad shit about World Times today. Thoughts? Tan was talking mad shit about what World Times today. Thoughts? World times are great. I love the world time. Was you talking? I don't even know what he was saying. Mobster, fill us in a bit more.
Yeah, I'll keep
World
an eye on the
time.
chat. Mobster, give us a little more context here.
I want to ask you, Mark, what's the hardest thing? Do you get sick of explaining to people when you're buying watches? The price on Chrono is not the price you get. That is what somebody is trying to sell one for. That doesn't mean they are getting that money. That's what they're trying to get, and they're not getting takers. Otherwise, they would be sold.
Well, yeah, and look, when you're going to a dealer who is sitting here going, hey, we're going to check it for authenticity, we're going to send it to a watchmaker to make sure it's running right, we're going to also stand behind it and give it a warranty, the price isn't going to be the same as buying it from around the corner from somebody, because that person, after they give it to you, don't give a flying fuck.
Tell me this. What is the margin on Rolex? Steel Rolex Sports. What is the margin?
20%. They could have been as low as 10% when they were really popping off, but you'd buy them for 10%, you'd wait a week and sell them for 20%.
Okay.
So, but other watches like Hublot, Tutti Frutti, you would be sitting at 45, 50% because they would just not sell.
Tell me this. If someone came to you and wanted to sell you that 1921 Vacheron that you've got, what sort of money would you be offering? They said, I bought it from VC. I had a good dealer experience.
Oh,
yeah. This guy, Anthony, gave me a 6-month buyback program, and then
they would probably end up getting half as much than they paid for it as an offer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it sucks. But honestly, you could probably just go on Chrono and sell that one yourself a little easier. But that's just the nature of the historique. And it sucks. I mean, it really sucks because that's such a beautiful watch. But 40,000 is just a high ask for that watch new, I think.
All right, so Mobster gave us the context here about the world times. So Tan said time zones change; they're not usable for the long term. Not a usable watch, kind of a useless function. And I mean, with the daily savings and all that stuff, I understand. Some people look at it as more romanticized complication than practical.
There are world timers that take in the daylight savings complication. They'll have like a trailing arm that tell you whether or not this is daylight savings or not. You know, there's even world timers that take in 15-minute world time.
Time near enough. It gives you near enough is good enough. It gives you the approximate. You know, that's the whole thing with that complication. I think it gives you the approximate. It's near enough. You know if it's night or day. You know if it's 4 a.m. or it's midday. I think that's.
And if you need more, look at your damn iPhone.
Exactly.
They're pretty. Leave me alone.
Yes.
I got to ask you, Mark, there. Seriously, did you enjoy buying or the selling of watches? What part of the...
So I only bought. I didn't have to worry about selling.
Okay.
Buying is fun because here's $1 million, go buy watches. What's not to love? It requires an insane amount of research because you need to know everything about every watch and what people are looking for in it. So you have to understand why some small difference makes, and we all know something like a flat 4 Kermit or something like that.
Yeah.
But when you start really getting into things of rare watches or unusual watches, especially when you get past Rolex, it gets in the weeds and you start learning things real quick about the things that are out there that nobody sees or nobody talks about, or the rare, you know, somebody Zenith made 15 of these watches or something like that. When you run across those things, you discover so much. That's a great education. There's no quicker way to learn watches than when somebody says, which one of these do you want to buy? And you suddenly have to know everything about them.
Tell me this, Mark, what is the biggest disaster you came across as a buyer? What I'm talking about is somebody who paid full retail and sold you a watch. They got their ass kicked. What is the worst deal you ever saw in your time?
Limited edition Hublots. Those are always the ones that somebody bought for 20, 30,000, and we're like,
what do you mean? It's the Murakami Takashi limited edition.
You know, Yeah, how much you want to pay for a full sapphire Hublot? Like, I love the watch. It's kind of funky, but that's a hard find for a seller. So you're certainly going to be losing the margin. We're looking for first of all, what we're going to sell it for is 40% of what you pay for it, and we're still looking for a 40% margin on top of that.
Right.
So
because that one's going to sit around.
Yeah, it's cool, but on the other hand, Steel Daytona at the peak of the market is
right.
We'll give you more than you paid for it, and we'll sell it the next day.
So Mark, tell us then, what's the best seller then? The ones that actually come in and go out the next day.
Daytona for one. The one that surprised me, steel Rolexes, yeah, but the one that surprised me, it always went quickly, was the Speedy Reduced.
Really?
Oh, wow.
I saw 12 of them go out in 1 week once. Those were incredible. You'd see 20, 30 sell in a week. I mean, in a month.
And what do you think? Because they're cheaper than the standards?
They're cheaper. They're smaller. They're 40 millimeters. They're automatic.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm a big gorilla with this. 7 3/4.
A little bit smaller. A little bit smaller. They look almost identical. There's some small differences, but they're effectively identical with a slightly different spacing in the sub registers, and of course there's a Dubuis Duprat on it, so the pushers and the crown are slightly misaligned. That's getting in the weeds, but generally it looks like a Speedmaster, but it's automatic and it's 40 millimeters, and you could buy it for almost half the cost.
Yes.
So we would buy them, and honestly we buy them from we actually buy them from Asia for like 1,200-1,300 and sell them for 2,500, and they're continuous, and we could service them in house. So
I bet you're doing a dance when 12 of those going out the door on a week.
Patel, $5, near enough is good enough. AC3 is okay with his chronograph, just running 3 minutes late. Yeah, thank you.
I was just curious and wanted to ask the panel, this new Submariner Rolex book that's coming out, right? Rolex's first heritage book that they officially put out. I don't know how good of an idea this book is, because I was seeing some excerpts from it, and they were talking production numbers around these Submariners, and you were looking, it was about...
This is officially a Rolex book?
Yes. Yeah. I can pull it up for you if you haven't seen it, Arch.
That's the Folks one, the Nick Folks. I didn't know Rolex actually had authorized it. That's all.
Everywhere I've been seeing it, they've been saying the first Rolex authorized book. But they started basically talking about production numbers for certain windows, and they were talking about the Supercase 40 millimeter subs, and there were about 400,000 that got churned out, and then right under it were the Hulks. How many Hulks do you think got churned out if there were 400,000 black sub dates? How many Hulks do you think?
I'm looking at the number in front of me, so I'm not going to answer.
Yeah.
You'd have to say half, wouldn't you?
Oh, you think that many?
Yeah. They're pretty common watch. What do you think? No?
I feel like J. Anthony Bob, we Googled here. Did you look it up, or do you know J. Anthony?
I honestly don't know. I was trying to figure it out. You caught me.
What do you think if you had to guess? Half, 25%, 10%, 15%? Just really random.
I honestly don't know. I feel like everything...
Sorry.
I'll go with 25%.
I feel like every time I'm told something is super rare, it's like the exact opposite. So whatever we think it is, I'm going to round up.
Yeah, I think they probably made more than the black subdates.
No.
Okay.
No, certainly not more. Yeah, it was half. Half was 200,000 Hulks.
I guessed that half. I guessed that too.
Oh. I was blown away. I'll never look at a Hulk as the same way. I just won't. I mean, I always, out of all the steel subs that were sitting around, that was the one in my mind. I was like, that maybe one day I'll just break down and pay the premium for that watch. After seeing that, sorry, I just can't.
Yeah.
We got a super chat. CB says $5, J. Anthony. It seems you don't except to be debated. I've never seen you. Sorry. Can you tell me what watches you own? If not, it is okay. So he's CB, his watches. He's got an 18238 day date with a cream dial, with Romans with cream, I think. You've got a 5196 Patek G, 5196G. What other main? Just give him a couple sweet spot things.
I got a Platinum Yachtmaster. I got an Explorer 2. I've got this Speedy. I've got an 18K Constellation.
When you say Platinum Yachtmaster, you mean Platinum Bezel?
Yeah, 16222. Yep.
Yep.
And if you go on my YouTube channel, which I would not waste your time watching, you name it, I've owned it. So, and then kind of like Mark here, one of my best friends is actually a dealer. So APs, Pateks, and Vacherons are as common to me as Toyota Camrys. I've seen a lot of them. I like them all. But I mean, look, man, I can tell you're upset, and you're welcome to jump on. I'm happy to have a conversation with you. We don't have to agree here. I will tell you my personal opinion is the Breitling Navitimer has a better bracelet than the 5712 Nautilus. I will stick by that all day. Nautilus is a better clasp. The bracelet and the clasp. Bracelet. Well, the clasp, you're right. Clasp is about the same. Would you say it's about the same? Actually, it's a good question. What's the best clasp you've ever had on a watch? This is a good question.
Here we go. We've got another super chat. Patel Philippe, $2. Will the Smurf be a future classic?
I don't know.
That's a good question. Today's topic is why is white gold Rolex so unpopular? Will the Smurf be a future classic? In small pockets, I think it's like the German collectors who collect oyster quartz. You know, there's a small pocket of them.
Yeah.
What do you think, Guy? Mark, what do you think? Will the Smurf be a classic? Yes, no.
It's been around long enough in steel and ceramic. I think it's has an audience, but the audience, and there's enough made that it's not going to be rare. I think it's not going to be a classic. It'll just be a relatively common watch.
Yes.
It's not going to pop off or anything. It's not hundreds of thousands of them have been made. So
actually, let me ask you a question about this, because you, Hoff, and then you, Mark, you would know. Everybody talks about how rare the Panda dial Daytona is, and just going off my own personal experience in the circles I hang out with, and even and Giancarlo has one too, and it's a beautiful watch.
Mm-hmm.
I see more Panda dial ceramic stainless steel Daytonas than I see two-tone Daytonas than I see solid gold Daytonas.
Oh,
is the
certainly more than black too?
Yeah, is it as rare as Rolex is leading you to believe, or is it a fake scarcity? What's your real thought?
Neither. It's not that rare, and it's not a fake scarcity. It's just that many people want it.
Yeah.
Rolex is not a fake scarcity. They're building more output. Like, there's just that many people want it. How many people in this chat own multiple Rolexes?
Yeah.
And you own other brands.
Yeah.
You know, I was actually surprised. One model I've been wanting to get a titanium Yachtmaster 42 since they've been announced, and that always held such a premium for so long on the gray. I'm starting to see now some for around 26, which is a huge drop from the 40 grand they really hung at for a while in the upper 35, like the upper 30s. Are you starting to see those more in circulation now, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is if Rolex comes out with a new model, unless they flood the market with it, there's just going to be a huge amount of people out there wanting it immediately because they want it immediately and they can have it. So the people who do end up getting it may just flip it for extra money because why not? I don't think that's unique to that. I think that has to do with, like, look at the colored OP dials. Now that's the same thing. They're not uncommon. It's just so many people want them, they're willing to pay a premium for it.
Yeah. No, in that one, it was new material, and I thought there might be new tooling that kind of took a minute to online, and that's why I was kind of asking if you're seeing more of them, because frankly, I was just curious. Is now the time to start harassing my AD again?
Oh yeah, they always bother the AD. Yeah. It's they got nothing else to do. They have empty cases.
They're what, 14K retail? What do they go for? I can't remember. If you can find one.
I think it's about 14 retail. U.S.
I know somebody in our Texas society, Mark, just picked one up at retail, and so they are starting to show up again.
Yeah, it's. I mean, great for people who want them. I don't like titanium, but I know people do.
What the fuck is with Tudor? Why is Tudor such a on the secondary? Why does it plunge so much?
That's a good question.
Is there anything in that price range that doesn't?
Mm.
Yeah, good. Yeah, good
that's a price range for people who buy and sell watches, like flip them a lot. So when you do that, there's a lot moving hands. There's always a lot in the market.
Or they're making a compromise, right? That's a compromise watch too.
For some people, I don't know. I own 2 Tudors, and I went out to hunt both of them, and because I like them. I got the original Smiley Burgundy Heritage Black Bay because I always liked that.
Yeah,
and
you got the ETA movement in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good. Either movement's good. I just like the dial better, to be honest.
I think one was yours, the new one, your review. That's yours.
Yeah, my wife will yell at me. She's like, it's mine.
Dude, that's awesome.
Is that the red anodized bezel?
Milgauss?
Bezel.
The original Heritage Black Bay. Yeah, the Smiley. Yeah.
The Tudor. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first one.
Large ones, like 42 or 40 millimeters. Yeah. I love that watch. Love it.
Love it. And the original one also didn't have the fake rivet bracelet. I hate the fake rivets.
Oh yeah, no, I can't handle that. Black Bay 58 is like just out of consideration because of those rivets.
Look, if you want to make a riveted bracelet and do it, sure, that'd be kind of a cool throwback. But don't put fake rivets in there.
Yeah, I ended up choosing the Pelagos just because I'm more of a sports watch guy and things do get banged up. And boy, it just turned out to be one of my favorite watches. I sold it, but I'll get another.
And quartz accurate, if I recall.
It was very accurate, and it used that the collaboration movement between Breitling and Tudor. So I believe it was not a smiley face Pelagos. It was one of the.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they ever the Pelagos. I don't care how it's said. I think those always in the house.
I think some of them, some of the early ones had the smiley face and had the EDA movements, and then they went to the dictionary.
What about the clasp, Mike?
Oh, the clasps. Back to that question that never got answered. Best clasp I've ever owned has been the Rolex slide lock, quick adjust. But
I do like that, yeah.
The clasp on the Pelagos has a spring. It has very adjustable, and then it has that spring, those springs in it. So if you're like me and you happen to swell up, water retention or something, and you wear your watch tight, it doesn't let it make your hand turn black. It's a kind of a complicated buckle, but it's done very nicely. And to note, they had like ceramic detent balls, and the bracelet was excellent. That buckle and bracelet, top notch. I mean, I put the Pelagos on the same level, similar level as the Submariner almost, maybe just a little below. It's a great watch. Weighs the same.
Poor man's sea dweller.
I gotta say something. I've really been. I think Breitling is a brand that's got some excellent value secondhand. Mark, what do you think of Breitling secondhand? Like, if there was a brand that is undervalued, that also used to be with John Travolta spruiking it in the early 2000s. It was so cool. The thing that makes me laugh is when Bloomberg and Rob Report start talking about how watch investments are so great. They always talk about Rolex. They always forgot about Frank Muller and Breitling. And Pam.
If you're buying to make money off watches, you're in the wrong hobby.
Yeah.
You might be able to do it. You might get lucky. You might buy what you like. Buy what you can afford and don't overpay for it. That's it. And if you want to make money off of it, you're going to have to get in the dealer side of things and flipping, and that's a different beast.
Tell me this, in the hobby, have you seen too many people who've over committed? What's the worst case?
Yeah, there's always those people. Yeah. It's I always tell people never buy on credit, buy cash, and don't buy it unless you can afford to buy it twice.
Oh, hold on. Let's full screen this right here.
That's right.
Look, Travolta and his planes.
I have like everyone watched out for the last 20 years. I knew I had this somewhere.
What year is that from?
This is the chronologue of 2016.
2016.
Very nice.
Wow.
I have a bunch of those upstairs too. Yeah.
I'm convinced 2017 is my favorite year of wristwatches.
That's before the Premier line. Why 2017? Well, the current Premier.
So Mark, did you have many people who put everything into watches, every last cent into watches?
I don't know if anyone did that.
But we know a bunch.
If they did, you deserve what you got. That is so stupid. You should. I'm sorry. Don't come to me for investment advice, but I'll tell you, if you put everything in the one thing, you're making a mistake.
Yeah.
You may get lucky, but you're probably making a mistake. So,
Can I insert myself here, please? I have to say, this is one of your best shows, Arch.
Thank you, Nark.
Mark, you started off slow. Okay, what the fuck, right? But no, you're too PC. You're holding back. You're withholding.
Well, you were a bit much, Narc. That's why I jumped in.
I wasn't on that. And
I got to get CB's comment. $5. Why? This is for Jay Anthony. Why do I have to
ignore this guy, Jay Anthony? He's a flexor. He's a flexor.
I'm trying to debate, but you got me. I will suggest to Terry Stern to copy the bright.
No, he's a flexor and a sock, Jay Anthony.
CB, come on the stream. Let's have a real conversation. Cut out the
No, he doesn't. He's a WhatsApper. He's a WhatsApper. Archie, pull up my WhatsApp. He's a WhatsApper. He's a flexor and a sock. Just ignore him. Every show has.
Let's have a real chat.
Wait.
I love the picture. For finding my baby picture.
No, I have to say, this panel is look. There's no filler panelists here. There's no filler panelists. All right, we got Mike, but the rest highly opinionated. Right, Mark. Seriously, this is one of the best first show appearances. We got our own Marco Ferrante. This is the person Marco Ferrante aspires to be. Do you know who Marco Ferrante is?
He's a better fit for the Archieverse, don't you think?
No, this guy's great.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He hits all the bells.
He's got a beamer. He's got a beamer. He's a beamer guy.
All right. Yeah, this is sounding good.
What do you think of Mark? What do you think about
I
Mark?
like him. I'm a big fan. It was this conversation that made me actually jump on because I thought you were going to run him off.
No. This is the first time Jay Anthony's been able to sit back and just enjoy.
Yeah.
A lot of times he sort of, there's pressure on him to perform.
I know he needs a weightlifting belt on before he hits the StreamYard link.
Mark, you're A grade. Seriously, I hope you come back.
Appreciate it.
You're scared off Erwin. Was Erwin just contacted me? He goes, I can't get a fucking word in. Erwin left.
He's in the private chat now.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say. Great show today, Arch. You're somewhat engaged. Somewhat engaged.
It's a great show.
After he carbo loaded. He carbo loaded. So we got him.
Mark, this is good for Archie. You've engaged him.
Yeah.
And Jay Anthony, ignore CB. He's a flexor.
I just want to have a chat, man. I'm all game. But yeah, Mark, you're freaking awesome. Glad you made it. Seriously. Yeah. And Archie, it's not Beamer, it's Bimmer. I'm sorry. Beamers are motorcycles. Bimmers are cars. You're killing me, man. Come on, you know better.
Thank you. I gotta.
My friends that yell at me. It's not Audi. It's Audi. Shut up. It's not a hood. It's a bonnet.
It's not Porsche. It's Porsche.
Well, when I did a video on Glashütte, I said Glashütte on my video, and I got so much hate mail the next day about mispronouncing the town in Germany. Yeah, we're real good at picking on each other.
Oh, yeah.
Half of it was probably from our friend Keslowitz.
That is such a pain in the ass to pronounce. Jeez. There's no sh in German, I think.
So what kind of Bimmer, Mark?
X3 M40i.
Yes.
Oh, very nice.
Got the B-48 big engine in that there. That's a rocket ship. The X3 really is a very comfortable car to have.
Yeah, it's their small SUV. It's
It's a lot bigger interior than you'd think.
Is that your first Beamer, or you've had a few?
That's my first. Yeah, it's I usually am more economical in my car and have like a Subaru.
Yes.
So I get tired of having 140 horsepower. So.
No, fantastic. Great to have something. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I got to tell you, Mark, the future of watches. Is it going to young people are coming in, or who is buying this stuff?
Young people are definitely coming in.
Yeah, I'm saying it. As
YouTube
well.
and micro brands bringing in a lot of young people.
Without question.
Because micro brands are allowing a lot of people.
Mark, this first watch, somebody comes to you, they want to get a nice watch. What would you push them into? What would you recommend? What do you think is a good?
Did you hear his margins on the fucking Speedy Reduced? Do you have to?
Yeah.
Anything else he tells you is a lie.
Price range is the question, because if you're going like $500, it's Hamilton is usually a good choice. You're not gonna you have a hard time beating that. Seiko is always a good choice.
Well,
I love
a Seiko
Monster.
Decent watch starts at? Where does a decent watch start? Where is the line in the sand? $5,000, $10,000?
Look, if you want to talk about a nice mechanical watch that's going to make you feel good, you can do that for $1,000 or $2,000. If you're going to talk about a nice watch that has history behind it, you're starting to talk about close to $5,000.
What if I came to you and said, "What watch is going to get me laid in the strip club? I'm tired of just, getting the knee on my."
Oh, you take the money you would pay a watch and actually pay the stripper that. That's the only way that's happening.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yes.
I like this guy, Arch.
No, he's
passing all the tests.
Cool there. He's only got one Rolex, Hoff. This is the interesting thing. He's anti-establishment. Okay.
When I first turned on the show, I heard him recommending you a datograph.
Good choice.
Yes.
Or a white gold Odysseus.
Yes. Yes.
I mean,
don't go wrong with cars, $10. Great stream, Arch. Awesome panel. And we got CB $5. Narc, haven't flexed yet tonight. Just sent a couple of teasers. Can't compete with Jay Anthony now.
I love this new war.
I'm enjoying this too, man. Dude, come on the stream. I want to talk to you. This is the highlight of my day. I appreciate you.
I love it.
Keep giving Archie money. I love it.
Oh no, he's an amazing supporter and a great collector.
Yeah, he definitely is there. I got to tell you something, Mark. Do you ever get jealous of the guy who's got one watch? He's just a one-watch man. That's it. They go through life with a sub-date, steel sub-date, or some. No.
If they have one watch and it's a Rolex, they're not a watch guy. They're just a guy that has a Rolex.
That's right.
Which is, I mean, it's fine if that's what your thing is.
It's the same guy who buys one nice car and drives it till the wheels fall off.
I mean, I understand that more, I guess, because I'm not a car guy. So, like, I enjoy cars, but I'm not a car guy.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, it was a pleasure having him on this evening. I'm sorry. We all got to draw on. Yeah. All right. Sorry. I had to do it, Mark.
Yeah.
Hey, I grew up, I'm the one sibling in my family who's not, like, obsessed with cars, so I definitely enjoy them. Grew up around them, went to American Le Mans races and things like that, so it's not like I'm oblivious to them. I love them, but I'm not spending my money on them. I'm spending them on, watches.
I feel like for every thing I'm into that retains value, I have to have something that depreciates heavily. So I love my cars.
There has to be a balance there.
Yes, exactly.
That's CB's better than tonight. A non-car guy on the panel. That hurts.
What's that?
That CB's karma back to me. I made fun of bracelets, and now I'm having a non-car guy in the panel.
And I'm not trying to troll. Well, how is the clasp on the Odysseus and like the bracelet? That's one watch I've never actually seen, but the bracelet and the clasp, I've always wondered.
The Odysseus is the perfect example of pictures don't do it justice. You see an Odysseus in pictures, and it's like, that doesn't look right. It doesn't.
Yeah,
look
it looks
good.
ugly. I'll be honest.
You put it. I agree. In pictures, you put especially the steel one or the titanium one with the bracelet on, and you put that clasp on. You sound like, holy shit, this is comfortable, and damn, does it look good on my wrist.
Yeah, I always thought the rubber strapped Odysseus is the one that looked the best.
It looks great. That's the white gold, and that looks gorgeous. I absolutely love that. But that's, I think, just a tang buckle. I think, I forget. But the I could be wrong on that. But the actual bracelet on the steel and titanium one, they're both perfect, absolute perfection, and you wouldn't think it looking at the pictures. It really, in person, you need to see that watch and have it on.
And do you think they're still like next to impossible to get?
Oh yeah. Absolutely. They're not making a whole lot of them. The titanium one, the fact I've seen a titanium one is a miracle.
Wow.
Actually, real quick question on that, because you and I both been to long events through the society. They didn't have an Odysseus and they didn't have a Datograph. It was at ours. It was the same for you. Long didn't even bring them.
We have a collector who brought them. We have a collector who brought his titanium Odysseus and his Datograph and his steel Odysseus, I think, too, or white gold. I think he has like all three. Insane long a collector, and he brought some. He basically doubled what they had there.
Is that guy also into James Bond?
I don't think so.
Oh,
but not that I know of. He's in the wine and bourbon.
Got it.
So,
good man.
And Porsche.
Oh, Stuttgart native?
No, not at all. He's from the southeast here.
I'm just trying to poke a little fun from our old friend Higgins, who will watch this back and get a kick.
Exactly right. That's a lot of fun there. I got to tell you something with the whole watches themselves there. I really think that the big thing that really disappoints me is people who've gone into the hobby as trying to make some money out of it.
I love CB.
Come on, CB is on fire. I love CB. He is doing it tonight.
Yeah, man. I bless you.
This.
Thank you.
Do you buy any of your kids, Mark, a watch?
I don't have kids.
Oh, you don't have kids? Okay.
I have watches. They're much cheaper.
Much cheaper.
Exactly.
Much cheaper indeed there.
No, me and my wife never had kids, so we're I got nieces and nephews. They're fine.
That's enough.
That's enough.
That's what I've signed up for.
Same here.
Same. Good game.
I have 12 nieces and nephews at all different age ranges, from 1 to late 20s. So,
well,
very good indeed there.
Yeah,
I got to tell you,
that's my pet right there, the Oris.
Oh, nice. Is that the Oris bear?
Yeah, that's the Atlanta Braves one.
Oh, very cool.
They it has its home in my house.
Oh, so you're down in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
I hold it for them because the Atlanta Braves don't let them hold it at the stadium. And
how funny.
How do you find buying from friends, Mark? How do you find that?
I mean, if they're watch people, yeah, sure. You know, if they're honest about what they're selling me, like, don't bullshit me and give a fair price. Because, yeah, I mean, I've never. If somebody goes in like our group chat, you know, for the Watch Society and goes, "Hey, we're selling this watch. I'm selling this watch for this price," I trust them generally. Buy it from them. I haven't bought one yet. I haven't bought one in a while. I'm trying to stop buying watches, and every time that happens, something comes up like the pink Tudor or just got the MBNF Mad One. You know, won that auction too. So,
oh wow,
that's coming. And I'm an ordained build slot Q1 next year. So there's those things coming up.
Did you see the Glasuta Panamatic that came up for like $5,000 on the thing? I missed it. Somebody got it. It was such a good deal. I
saw that. I already have one, so I was kind of like, dang. I mean, I'm glad somebody in the group got it because that was just such a steal.
Such a steal.
That is a good deal. The Pano Inverse is like one of my most absolute favorite watches, which is really similar to the Panamatic.
That's a cool one, yeah. I have the Panamatic Lunar in gold and green.
Yes,
that's gorgeous.
I like the dark gray Pano Inverse personally.
Oh, that's an awesome one where you have basically the movement plate as the dial.
Exactly. It has the 3 jewels above the clock part, and the dual swan necks and the hand engraved bridge bar I'm in love with that watch.
Hey, fellas, I got to actually shoot off, but hold on, it's great talking to you guys. Mark, pleasure to meet you. Jay Anthony, always a pleasure. Mikey.
Hoff, love you, man.
Archie.
Hey, fantastic having you on, Hofmeister. Every fantastic experience here, sharing the love for watch collecting,
for wristwatch collections.
And car guys, you have to be both to be on this channel, right? So
Exactly.
Tell me this, Mark, the end game. What do you see as your end game? Do you see yourself like reducing the collection in retirement? Do you see yourself?
Yeah.
I tell you my goal. I'll let you know my secret. My secret is I've bought a few watches. I've got some beautiful. I've given a few to my children. I gave a Grand Seiko for my son's 18th, and I also gave a Tudor Black Bay Burgundy to my other son for his 18th. But what I really see the future is I'd like to settle on 4 or 5 watches for me into retirement, which will be happy. I will be happy with a smaller number.
I could see myself selling a bunch and ending up with 2 or 3 each, as in 2 or 3 for me, 2 or 3 for my wife. That I could see. I say that, and we share watches a lot, so it's cheating. She likes larger watches, so luckily there's almost no watch we don't share. So
that's a relationship bound to last. That's a mark of a good relationship.
Expensive, but good.
Yeah. Well, actually, you're cutting your costs in half, right? Because everything is dual purpose.
Yeah, except for what we want sometimes is different. So we both end up, she buys a gold watch, I buy a gold watch, and suddenly we're spending way too much money. Well, at least that's what happened last year.
Cheaper than a kid's college fund.
I hope so. It was. I mean, that's why I can name my kids Vacheron 1 and Vacheron 2. Those are my kids, my Vacherons.
Way to go, really. What more do you want to have there? What's the super grail for you, Mark? What is your super grail?
A chain and Fusée Breguet would be a hell of a thing. Yeah, that'd be super grail. I also have a real love for a Vacheron Constantine, the Arts Collection, the Sartorial Arts Collection herringbone, which is an unusual watch that that's aftermarket 50,000-60,000.
Wow.
That's one if you can search for.
Yeah.
It's a guilloche dial that's done in herringbone pattern and purple enamel on top of it.
Wow, fantastic choices there. Did you ever really want to get a perpetual calendar chronograph, something like that?
Perpetual calendar just sounds like a pain in the ass to try and never set. I never set my dates anyways. A minute repeater I'll take though. A minute repeater that's something special.
One of the bargain minute repeaters is remember Jaeger LeCoultre had a Reverso minute repeater. They were only like $20,000-$30,000 mark. They for a minute repeater they're a little bit small.
That's actually slightly less than what IWC you can find from IWC, which is probably the other budget-friendly one.
But the Belcanto, you're talking about that, right? The hour repeater.
Yeah, I mean, it's an hour strike, but it's not a minute repeater. It's a much easier complication. Much easier. It's basically a jump hour complication with a hammer and gong.
Oh, it doesn't sound off each hour; it just sounds off once for the hour.
Yep.
Okay. I haven't seen one.
On the hour it strikes. It's an hour strike, similar to what Chopard does. And now the very different in how they're executed and how well they're executed for a reason on price points, but same concept. Yeah, it's basically it's a jump hour. It's a jump hour mechanism, actually, what they used at the Belcanto. That was their base.
Amazing.
You have a great guy here, Mark. I'm going to drop off and let you two have a chat. I want him to get his full exposure to the Archieverse. I'll make myself disappear.
No, that's fantastic. Thank you, Jay Anthony, for coming on there. I got to tell you, Mark, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on Chat Watchers, and I really do enjoy chatting to her. I mean, anyone who has a Breguet goes up in my book.
Oh, next time I'm on, I'll wear it. I've been switching between watches. If anyone ever even noticed, because I have a bunch sitting next to me, but I don't have the Breguet.
Yeah, I got to tell you, the thing about Breguet that I really love with Breguet is that you don't buy that for resale value. It's a hype watch. It's just such a beautifully well made. Look, I think you're best to buy Breguet. Look, it depends on. I got another fan, a good friend, Donnie Haynes. He actually bought a Marine he bought it from the boutique. He got a massive discount, but he wanted to be able to. Sometimes it's good to buy retail because you can pick exactly what you want. You want this style, you want this, you pinpoint it, and you've got to pay. I get it. That's something you do have to pay to get. But I think the biggest problem is many people buy these things, and like we had Uzi on before. The truth is, there's nothing wrong with his watch. It's a fucking beautiful watch, but that one to sell isn't the most saleable. It's like if you're buying a car, you should pick a good color. You don't pick a weird color that makes it a bitch, because you might like it, and people get so offended when what you're really saying to them is your tastes are not.
It's not mainstream.
It's not mainstream. Like when you buy a Porsche, you buy resale red. You buy Ferrari resale red because that's resale red. That's when you want to get rid of it. And that's one of the reasons I've kind of stayed away from independents, because they have never been easy to get out of. I mean, you can criticize Breguet and JLC and Zenith all you like, but there's still a brand. They're a reasonably when you get into
there, some independents are starting to get that, have enough people wanting it. Ming are still pretty healthy and something like that, but that's not the usual.
No. I got to tell you, I've my own collecting journey itself there. I don't need to own everything. You don't need to have a museum. You don't need to have a museum. You buy things that you like, and I think that's a good thing you said. If you're not wearing it, get rid of it.
Yeah. Give it to somebody or sell it. Take your pick.
It's you were, what made you be a buyer as opposed to a seller? Why did you decide I want to be a buyer?
The position was open.
Okay, it was buying.
It was, I was working for, I was doing my career is not initially in watches, but I always loved watches, wanted to get into it, and they had a position open and applied. I already had strong watch knowledge, so I was going in there.
Where did you come from before watches?
Majority of the time, I was either operations management or I ran restaurants.
Okay. And,
hey, Archie, I gotta go. Good night.
No worries, Mikey. Love you, man. Thanks for coming.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure.
Very much so.
Thank you, Mikey. I got to tell you, it's I come from an IT tech background, and sometimes moving across careers there, they say you should never make your job your hobby because it'll stop being a hobby. Is that true, or?
It depends. There are certain parts of it that kind of demystify when you really get into the back of it. So some of the, voodoo art of it can go away, but there's still a huge appreciation. And a lot of people that have such a passion for it that work in it, it works well because it's not a grind. It's you're talking to people that also share the passion. No one's in this because it's the best way to make money.
No.
To be perfectly honest, there's plenty of other ways to make money easier or better. Yeah. But if you love it, you want to do it. So you're usually dealing with a lot of people who love what they do. And that makes it a lot easier. I don't have any problem with it being what I do kind of thing, because I do love it and I can talk about it all day long. And so either if I'm buying, I'm researching. If I'm selling, I'm talking to somebody about watches. And
what age are you, if you don't mind me asking?
42.
42, young guy, 42. That's 40 is a great time.
Yeah. So
I'm 52 actually. I'm 10 years older than you. And I got to tell you, the last it's been a fucking roller coaster. Who would have thought this hobby would have gone such highs? I always knew it was a niche hobby. It was always a niche. But when it went ballistic like that, I wasn't necessarily a fan, because people came into it for the wrong reasons.
I mean, there's always been that guy. There's always the guy who just says, I have a Rolex and that's it. I use Rolex is beating the horse there, but it's, I mean, that is what people know who aren't in watches.
I think a Rolex is like having a Mercedes. It doesn't mean you're a car guy if you've got a Mercedes.
Right. Yeah.
It means you like,
you like something nice. Which is great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that at all. You're still getting something you enjoy, something you earned, and that's part of it. So, yeah.
I suppose the big thing is with the big thing with the hobby is you've got to keep what you like yourself. And I must admit, the Vacheron 1921. How long ago did you get that?
Year and a half. 2 years. 2 years ago now.
Was that a Grail for a long time?
That was my wife's Grail. For a long time. That's definitely more hers. I love to take it.
Would you get the 36 mil for her?
She didn't want it. She wanted the 40 millimeter.
Oh, okay.
Which makes me happy because it's easier for me to wear.
Okay.
No, she likes a larger watch. She likes a 40 millimeter watch. So.
And that came in through your business, through the business. You got a.
No, I purchased that one through a Vacheron AD that had it pre-owned.
Oh, I see.
And offered them a good price, a fair price.
Okay, it was a fair price.
Yeah. No, I knew what they were selling, what they had it for, and I knew what it was worth, and I offered them a fair price, and they accepted.
So Breguet, how did you get your Breguet?
That I was bought when I was at Crown and Caliber. For employee discount. So that one was
off?
I bought it for cost. So I bought it for $5,000. Yeah. But that was with bracelet, which is an unusual thing, and a full bracelet for an 8-inch wrist.
Yes. Actually,
that's
years ago.
That's the hard part.
I bought a Type 20 which had a bracelet with every fucking link taken out of it.
Oh God!
And believe you me, they are expensive. Those links.
Oh yeah, they're a few $100s each at least. And to add the bracelets back in, you actually have to send it to Breguet.
Sorry,
you have to add links back to that bracelet. You have to send it to Breguet to add links back in. They can't do it at the store.
Oh, okay.
My watchmakers couldn't do it. They're like, no, that has to go to Breguet. So I actually had to add it. I did add 2 links to it.
Shit. So I got to be honest with you. Breguet is a great brand. You've got some good pieces. That GMT original dial. Any story to it? It's all original.
It is 100% all original. It is a family heirloom. No, the boxing. Those are gone, long time ago. But it's 100% all original. Luckily, when I didn't know anything about watches and my wife gave it to me, I had an uncle who had Rolexes, and I asked him, hey, where should I service this? Because it's not running, because it's sitting in a bank for 30 years. Yeah. And he sent me to a guy who was used to working on vintage Rolexes near him. This is down in South Florida.
You're lucky you didn't go to Rolex.
Oh, I was lucky. He sent. The thing is I went to local jewelry stores, like, oh, we'll send it to Rolex. I'm like, no, I don't want this mailed out. I want to be able to hand it to a guy and hand it back. I don't want to lose it in the mail. This is a family heirloom. So, yeah, I was able to hand it to a guy who knew vintage Rolexes and hand it back. So it's all original.
It's a Pepsi?
No, black bezel.
Oh, black bezel.
It actually
Fuck.
would make it one of the earliest black bezels.
Wow. Never tempted to sell it, I hope.
Oh no, that one's never getting sold. It's gotten serviced again when I worked at Crown. One of our watchmakers was a vintage specialist, so he serviced it again, which was about good 10 plus years after the last one.
So who are you working for now? Or are you working for yourself now?
Let's go with myself now.
Okay. Cool. And you're buying, or yours? What are you doing now? Tell me what you're doing.
Help do events, media, writing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Freelance watch nerd.
Freelance watch nerd. Look, I want to say a big thank you for coming on here. It's been a long show, and you've been a great trooper here. Thank you so much, man. So let's promote your site, your YouTube. How does someone get in touch with you? From the YouTube channel, or
YouTube channel, or we also have an Instagram.
Okay,
Watch
so the
Society
YouTube
official.
channel, what's it called?
The Watch Society.
The Watch Society. This the thing behind us there. And your Instagram is the Watch.
My Instagram is Mark on Watches.
Okay, Mark on Watches. No problems at all. It's been an absolute pleasure. Please come again.
Absolutely.
If you had to do a one and done, what would it be?
One watch, and that's it.
Mm.
I'm still in love with my Overseas a year later. I could wear that one alone right now. That's a
Blue
hard one.
dial?
Black dial.
Black dial. Oh, black dial.
I think the blue dial is too much on the steel by the time only one. I think the dual time it looks great, and the chronograph it looks great, and in gold it looks great, but on the steel it's almost too much blue for that steel. It kind of overwhelms it. I like the black the best. Your
sweet spot is VC. You're a VC sweet spot.
I do like VC.
Are you a Malta fan?
Malta, as in the
the tornado case.
One? I do like that one. I think it's going away.
Yeah.
But I do like it. They actually used to call another one an older version of Malta too. That looks very different.
Yeah.
Had which is the really cool, good steel, because you could get a Hunter case back perpetual calendar chronograph for like 20,000-30,000 Vacheron. That's insane.
Drill Phil Bill, last super chat's coming in here. $2. Mark, hidden gem for 7,000. Thoughts?
Oh, that's an interesting price point. Oh, for $7,000. If you don't mind something a little dressier, gold Blancpain Villeret. You could get a lot of watch for 7,000 in gold and dress watch. You can even get them with Breguet 1185 movements in them in the chronographs. That's an unusual one. It's very dressy, but that'd be great. Breguet Type 21 for 7K you can get. That would that's another one that's a steal at 7K, at probably just below 7K too.
Yeah.
That would be. That's a lot of watch for that.
And really, the Breguet Type 21, that's really, in some ways, that's like comparing to, you can compare that to many higher brands which Breguet competes with, and it's pennies in the dollar compared to what their chronographs go for. You would have to
spend minimum 3 times as much to start getting real competitors. In my opinion, and in fact, usually when somebody asks me what's a Daytona alternative, I point them there. I've had a few people buy those instead of a Daytona because they're like, "Wow, that's a lot of watch," and I'd prefer it over a Daytona myself, and it's a fraction of the cost for a better watch, in my opinion.
GB20 Max, thoughts on the two-tone Sea Dweller? Is it a dog? I don't think it's a dog. That's not a. I don't think Rolex makes dogs.
It's hard to wear.
If you're a big guy, I
could see them like the Rock or something.
I would get one. Would you get one?
It's not my style, but it would fit me just fine. But it's not my style. That's all. I mean, a two-tone sport watch isn't my thing for me. It's
No.
just not my style.
Hey, we'll give it. You're only 42. We'll wait until your late 40s. It'll
Well,
change.
then I get this. Then I get a nice, gold dress watch. I like my precious metal in precious metal styles.
You know, the thing is, I had a solid gold sub. I had a 16618, and I never really felt comfortable wearing it too much. And with the
I don't
two-tone sub,
I don't have any gold bracelets. I'll put it that way.
Yes.
So they're all in leather.
Yes. I gotta say, I love the two
Yeah.
tones. I love the two-tone because you've got the strength of steel and just a little bit of glam with the gold there.
Oh, two-tone can look great. I mean, the Santos is one of those. The 70s
Yep.
Santos was actually made in two-tone first when the Santos
Yes.
came back. The
Yes.
steel didn't come out till 2 years later. So that's one of those watches when people are like, Cartier does two-tone better than anyone. They sometimes do it first in two-tone.
Good point. And then Patek tried to copy them with the Neptune. Wasn't quite as successful. You know, it's funny. They all copy each other. They can't say they don't. They do.
Oh yeah, it's hard to come up with an original design.
You know, it's sort of
they're all tweaking little things off from each other.
Exactly right. Guys, I want to thank everybody who super chatted today. Let's go through the list. We had Patek Philippe. We had Madman, Yankee Doodle, Jefferson Exotic, Dirk Diglock, Rich Mitch, Apes, Yankee Doodle. We had Dr. Bob's Nightmare, NATO, Patek Philippe, SD43, Patek Philippe, Madman, David N, Patek Philippe, CB, Patek Philippe, CB, Sam Davidson, Patek Philippe, CB, Patek Philippe, CB, Patek Philippe, Dirk Diglock. You can see that Patek Philippe guy. He helps a lot. CB, Mobster, Patek Philippe, CB helps a lot as well. Patek Philippe, CB, P-Cars, CB, Drillfield Bill, and GB. Guys, that's the show for today. We'll be back tomorrow. Love yous all. See you tomorrow, guys. Love you so much.